If you've ever thrown your golf clubs into a lake because you thought they didn't work, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Happy Friday. Welcome back. We're here for another episode of live trading. We got some small stuff trading up. We had a huge day from Apple yesterday. We've got Globe Life getting absolutely shellacked and bouncing. A lot of stuff here to cover. A lot of opportunities here on a Friday. Let's get it.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Hello and good morning, BZ crew. It is great to see ya. Happy Friday. We are almost at mice down, drinks up time, so get ready. We do have one more session to take care of here today. We do have some stuff moving, so let's go ahead and break it down like a fraction. Bringing on my main man, 13. How you doing here today?
I'm having a good morning. How's everybody else out there today? How about you?
I'm having a really good morning. It's nice and sunny here. The weather is actually warming up a little bit in Chicago. We might get 70s over the weekend. So things are looking pretty good on my end here. Now with the market, we'll see. I know we had kind of a big rip yesterday. We're a little bit weak in the pre-market today. So let's see what the market gives us. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. We are going to start with the SPY. Oh, I need to share my screen. That would be helpful. Boom, boom, boom. So here is your SPY. Now, we are slowly rolling over to this 50-day moving average. Today's value for that moving average, 509.77. I think that we do test this. I don't know if we're going to test this today. Really, we are going to have to get past 512, which has kind of been a stubborn bottom for us so far in the SPY. We're going to have to snap that before we go to 509. I don't know if we really have the strength to do that yet. We shall see. But it does look like we're kind of rolling over here. The pattern, the staircase pattern on the way up, that's really kind of slowed down and broken. We're actually kind of drifting lower here in addition to trading sideways. So maybe we're out of that. We'll see if a new pattern emerges. 13, you got any thoughts on the SPY or levels that we should be taking a look at? I know 512 is a big one for you too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that's been the level that's kind of been holding the SPY price up here lately for at least the past few days. This morning, we were getting a test of that 515.50 level, and it provided support. We traded back up, almost got up to that 518.30 level that I keep outlining. But we didn't get back up there. It started turning around again, blew right past the 515.50, and now it's headed towards 512 for another round of support. This will be the third day in a row that it's testing 512 for support. The more it gets hammered, the more I have to think that this is probably going to end up falling through. I still like the 50-day SMA.
Okay. So there we go. 50-day SMA. That looks like the next spot here on SPY. We'll see where we end up going. You know, one thing I did want to cover here real quick before we jump into some of the movers tool, we did have the start of the bank earnings. This is something we've been talking about for a little bit here. The most notable one for me would be JPM, right? JP Morgan reporting earnings here today, actually trading lower. We tried to bounce. I think that conference call is still going on. We actually tried to bounce once here in the morning, but we are rolling over to the lows. Be interested to see if 187 actually gets taken out to the downside here. JP Morgan, did you go through this report? Do you have any thoughts on the report? I know I might be putting you on the spot there. Just wondering.
You're fine. I did skim through it because I've been trying to skim through some of these just to take a look at the credit loss provisions. That's been an interesting point for me with these big bank earnings. There's, I think JP Morgan's actually decreased, Citibank's increased. I forget what Wells Fargo's did. One of the things about JP Morgan that, it's fine that they're selling off here. They've really had a huge run and they were very, very extended. So coming back in a little bit, that's fine. I'm glad to see that they're getting some support from the 50-day SMA. We'll see if that ends up being the bottom for today or if we go lower. If we do go lower, I think that somewhere between 170 and maybe 170, 180 would be a good bottoming area if we continue to break down beneath the 50-day SMA. But this thing has just absolutely run. I think it does need a cool off before it gets going again. Still think JP Morgan's the best in brand. So this is just necessary.
Yeah, and full disclosure here, the pre-market, we actually traded down to 186.80 on the low print. That actually tapped this 50-day moving average. So I know the market's not open yet, but we did already test that. Will be very interesting to see if we stay above that level. That's going to be your pre-market low from this morning. So there you go on JP Morgan. The other one that I mentioned here real quick that I'm curious to see if the group is trading here is going to be Globe Life. Yesterday, Globe Life had a short report from Fuzzy Panda Research, lol. Anyway, they had a short report. This thing got absolutely destroyed. This is $100+ stock. It actually printed a low, I think, in the high 30s, didn't it? Let's see here. I think right down here, yeah, 39. So in the high 30s, it printed a low. Actually, it looks like it's trying to bounce a little bit here today. I'm curious, are any of you folks trading this just on a potential dead cat bounce? This was a gigantic move lower here. They did defend themselves. They did say that the allegations made by Fuzzy Panda are baseless, defamatory, and incorrect. So take that with a grain of salt. I would suspect that this one could be volatile here today if bounce players are playing it. Yeah, 70s in April. Exactly. I'll take that here anytime. GL bought the close, Ryan. Already sold some. Okay, Jay. Well, you know what? You're going to get our first register ring of the morning here. Good job doing that. You bought the close. So what I like the most here, Jay, about this particular trade is that you didn't actually catch the falling knife, right? You waited for this to bounce a little bit. It actually consolidated a bit going into the close. That's where you longed it. And now you're selling it in the pre-market. This is textbook, dude. This is absolutely textbook. Great job trading something that got absolutely destroyed yesterday. So really good stuff there. We'll start with that. All right. Couple of other things to take a look at here. In terms of swings, first one we're going to look at here is going to be PanW. This thing absolutely ripped yesterday, came all the way back in. So I actually sold this for a gain yesterday because I had several points on it, got stopped out on the way back down. Then when it recrossed VWAP, I bought it again. Today we might be stopped out again on it. Very, very small position, trying to trade around the core just to kind of get some lunch money, if you will. But anyway, PanW here, maybe returning to the 200-day. If it doesn't break down, that's really good. Jay saying, by the way, regarding that short report, Fuzzy Bear, they ain't Hindenburg. So, a lot of these short reports, it's worth mentioning this because some of these short reports don't land as much or aren't as I hesitate to say credible, but in absence of a better word, I'm going to go ahead and say credible. Looks like Fuzzy Panda here, maybe not the best short seller.
Nothing screams credibility like a name like Fuzzy Panda or Fuzzy Bear or whatever the hell.
I'm trying to be serious. 13's out here cracking jokes, making me laugh. That's how I know it's Friday. We're gonna have a good day.
It's seriously funny, Ryan.
It is. It is. Okay. Next couple of swings here. Accenture, this continuing to find a new low. I'm still interested, especially if it can reclaim the 200-day. If we keep selling off, I really want to see it get down to the 500-day, but we'll see if that ends up materializing. The other one that we were kind of watching here is McDonald's. This is actually struggling to retake the 500-day. All right, let's jump over to some of the smaller stocks here. If you folks have any stocks that you want to take a look at, we will use the remaining time after this to do that. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the new movers here today. First one on the list is going to be PXMD. This was a penny stock yesterday, just about 40 cents, I think a couple of cents more. And today it is joining the dollar club. Pax Medica shares trading higher after the company announced the completed execution of 3 pivotal registration validation batches of PAX 101. I don't know about you folks. I don't necessarily trust this stack. We'll see if this ends up providing a trade. VWAP at right about $1 there. I wouldn't be shocked if we have a dollar downside test here today on this. It is running kind of into the open here. So I actually want to give it at least a few minutes around that opening print. Let it decide where it's actually going to go. The last thing that I want to do is start my Friday off with a head fake on some junky penny stock that is now recently getting over $1. But the move is notable. Stock's up 186% on the back of that news release here today. You got anything on PXMD 13?
Well, it's quite an incredible move for a company that just did part of a thing in order to get a clinical trial underway. So good for them. They do have a just under 7 million share float. They did a reverse split on October 31st, a 1-for-17. Aside from that, the only interesting thing I see in this stock's chart is that it's about to do a gap fill here. It's trading up to about 130. And if you look at a daily chart, you can see that from about 130 to somewhere between 165, 170, there's a gap that's about to be filled. We're trading currently around 116, 117. So if that gets up to 130 and we start to get some, you can even see like on the order book that there's a large amount of sell orders at 129, 130. We get up there, we start taking those out, we could get a pretty good run or a good gap fill of about 30 to 40 cents. So that's one interesting thing I'm watching for with PXS.
Okay, now that's a really good mention there. The one thing that I'll say is keep in mind stock's already up 180%. So for us to make that move to 130, break more selling orders that are just kind of sitting out there on the offer, this thing's going to have some considerable strength. So I agree with you. If we're able to take that out, that strength is going to be pervasive, and that might even be enough to kind of get into that gap and start doing some crazy things. So we'll see here on PXMD. Again, I've got no problem kind of just waiting this out a little bit and seeing if we can get more information for our particular trade plan. Good stuff there, 13. All right, next here is going to be NXPL. This is Next Plat. If we take a look here, Next Plat, the stock was about $1.50 yesterday, barely trades at all. Had a PR here. Next Plat shares are trading higher if the company reported year-over-year increase in FY23 consolidated revenue results. We took a leg up yesterday. We held it in the after hours. Today, we actually took a second leg up on substantial pre-market volume. We're actually right around the VWAP at the moment, so we'll see if this can actually reclaim it, get some of that expanding volume in here. Float about 12.5 million, so not ultra low, but still kind of low. And like I said, this thing barely trades on average 33,000 shares a day. Not something I'd ever be looking for on an average day, but today already we've traded almost 20 million. So something's clearly different here today. The stock should be liquid and volatile all day. What do you got on NXPL in terms of levels?
Well, for this one, it received some resistance earlier this morning when it traded up to about 284, 285. Up there, and if you look at the daily, right up there, and all the way up to about $3, you're going to see some consolidation if you look to the left. Now, if we break through that, the next, you're going to run into some more consolidation as you get up into the threes. So this one might be hard to push up. It does have a 12.4 million share float, and I would just be careful with this one when you get up to these consolidation levels, because they could smack the stock right back down if they don't break through. So just be careful with this one. I got a lot of different levels on this. If it gets up to 3, maybe consider taking profit or easing out of the position, because I don't know that it's going to break through. But just kind of watch and see what it does, and be careful. I think you're going to get a lot of resistance on the way up with this one.
Okay, there you go. Really good stuff there. NXPL. All right, let's take a look at the next one here. There's got to be some excited traders out there, because nothing seems to bring the gunslinging traders to the yard like HKD. We watched the stock go from single digits to like 2,000 one time, and that will never be forgotten. So here you go. HKD, this did pop yesterday. It's about $3. This popped just over 420. Someone put the pot leaf signal out there to get wisdom out of bed this morning. We'll see if that works. HKD, this actually kind of came back in and is consolidating a little bit. We'll see if this actually breaks through the VWAP and gets going. I'll say this, HKD, I'm not a fan of this stock. I will probably just pass on this completely. You got anything here on HKD?
For this one, I would just look to the left and see where the big consolidation levels are, because those are going to be your resistance levels. So you have, if I'm just going to stick with the 200. I'm sorry, not the 200. The daily chart on this, the 200-day SMA is looks like it's one of the next levels. But if you look to the left, you can see that there's a lot of consolidation at about 550, and a lot of consolidation at about somewhere between 650 and 660. So if we do run, if this stock does run up, I would be looking at those 3 levels for significant resistance, especially when you get to those consolidation levels.
Okay, there you go on HKD. I'll keep running through this list here real quick. I know we only got about 5 minutes left. Looks like ALLR. This is also on the list. We've seen this one a whole bunch. Alarity Therapeutics. This popped almost as high as 5 and has completely retraced the move. It's actually starting to accelerate to the downside away from the VWAP. So definitely want to wait for this one to bottom. There's no catching a falling knife here. This one is moving up here, or was moving up earlier. I actually don't see any fresh news. Looks like the last piece of news was from yesterday during the afternoon, but the market was still open here. So
yeah, I think that's what it's moving on. It's a filed prospectus supplement to increase the offering price. They do have a very, very low float, 471,000 shares. They've done 2 reverse splits in the past year. One was recently just earlier this week on the 9th. That was a 1-for-20 reverse split. And the previous one before that was back in June on the 29th, 1-for-40 reverse split. So this is basically a really good lesson in how these biotechs, handle their finances. They're going to, keep spending that money for their clinical trials. And once they run out and they need to raise more, if they haven't already done, offerings to raise that money, and they have a huge number of shares, they're going to do these reverse splits, consolidate those shares, get their stock price back into compliance, and then they're going to continue doing more offerings until their product is done or ready to be marketed and sold. And that's just the way they do these. So we're just in the middle of that process right now.
Okay. There you go. Good stuff there. ZPTA. The other one, this is Zapata Computing Holdings. This actually broke above 360 temporarily. We've come back to this 3 level. We are trying to use 3 as support here. Volume looks pretty good in the pre-market. So we'll see if we can get a return back to VWAP here, but we really want to ensure that this is going to kind of hold that low here, ZPTA. Again, on this one, looks like just technical trading. I didn't see any news on this.
Look at the daily chart. There you go. So this is an IPO recently, and now we are seeing a bottoming of that sell-off of the IPO. They do have 29 million shares in the float. This could be interesting as it's coming off that bottom. I don't know how high this is going to go. Don't have a whole lot of data on this one. So I'm not sure whether or not I'll trade it, but if you like IPOs, you probably recognize that this is starting to curl off that initial IPO sale, and that can usually mean that this is heading upwards. How high? I don't know.
Okay, and worth noting that this actually traded up and then came back in, so we don't have the greatest candle here. Speaking of recent IPOs, excuse me, there was another one here that has recently been mentioned. This is MNDR. Now, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. All right, I didn't end up trading this. I've actually never traded this. This had a huge run yesterday. Really kind of sold off a little bit in the afternoon when the volume dried up. That's not a coincidence, folks. But today it looks like it's gapping higher. So it looks like it's going to try 12 here today. 1230, yesterday's intraday high. We'll see if this ends up getting taken out. MNDR, this also pretty strong. And take a look at this. GL continuing higher here. We actually have 60 prints now, 60.50. Looks like that was, are we off the highs here? Almost 61. Looks like maybe we even did print 61. We're only 10 cents away now. GL absolutely going here. This one likely to be in play a lot today. So keep your eye on this. Jared, I got in GL, got in at 53. Well, good stuff, man. Make sure you pay yourself on the way up. So you got 7 points on that trade now just this morning before the golf course is even open. Way to go, Jared. That's what we want to see.
Market Sniper mentioning rent close to pre-market high, $24 resistance. I liked rent. This was a good stock to trade yesterday. That was a lot of fun. It is pretty high up here on the RSI, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. But when I look at the daily chart, it is holding above the 200-day SMA, and we have the 20 curling up to cross over the 50. So that's another good signal. Now, what would be nice with this is if it did, lower its RSI, maybe it came in a little bit, but there is a gap that is still trying to be filled. It didn't completely fill it yesterday, and that's from about 22.15 to 25.60 or 70. So a few dollars in there to capture if you want to try for the upside. But I'd like to see this cool off first. This could end up being a runner in the future.
Yeah, and this actually doing a pretty good job, right? This had a huge impulse move. We called it a short squeeze. feeling type of move. Well, when it retraced some of that, it really did a good job holding it, and it's actually held it now through the overnight session. So curious to see what the open of today actually does for this one. Okay, let's go ahead and get ready to go here. We're less than a minute till we open. I'm going to flip over to the scanner here. We'll take a look at that and see what's moving. And then we'll go ahead and flip over to Trade the Pool. Don't forget, Trade the Pool is sponsor of this stream. So if you need help getting over that 25K day trading threshold, or you need just some extra buying power for your trading thesis, go ahead and check out Trade the Pool. Bunch of great guys. Hope to have some more stuff from them pretty soon as well. So go ahead and check them out. By the way, CADL here, this is one that was just kind of left over on my scanner screen. This here holding pretty well here in a 6 handle.
That's been a fun stock to trade too all week.
Sure has. All right, we are open.
Show yourselves. Who's getting traded first?
Yeah, what's the trade here? What's the trade here?
All right.
Let's take a look at GL. Let's see what that does right out of the open here. GL just under $60 at the moment.
PXMD trying to push up here.
NXPL right at its VWAP. ALLR not doing anything yet. You said NX what? NXP?
No, I said PXMD.
PXMD, sorry.
No worries. This is because I'm interested in that gap fill. We're so close to it. I want to see if it actually tries to get up there.
Jane, good morning, Jane. Does GL equal good luck? Well, we'll see. Looks like it's pulling back here a little. Oh, nope, never mind. Going higher here now. Wow. GL all over the place. GL above 60 now.
Oh, it looks like your signal tool is going off there with all these new session highs.
Oh yeah, it always does that right at the open. Once the first couple of minutes go by, that thing becomes more and more useful.
NXPL is pushing up.
No, Jay's Life. It's just a sponsor of the stream.
All right. So
Jay saying that rent is going to do what DJT did eventually and roll over. Sure. I could totally see that here on rent. I want to see if we get a 20 test here today, but I could absolutely see that here on rent. No position for me on rent.
Yeah, absolutely. The financials of that company
look, it worked.
Garbage.
Look, it worked. It worked. We called out 420 earlier. We put the pot leaf signal in the sky, and wisdom is here. Look, the Fridays are ready now. Like, we're ready to go. We've got wisdom here.
Look at NXPL. That's trying to move through the pre-market consolidation here. I have the pre-market high of 284.
Here we go, 20 here on rent. I'm going to flip over to Trade the Pool here and get ready for some actual trade execution. Let's go ahead and do that. Get boom, boom, boom. All right, we're ready to go. So watching GL here.
Lots of things.
See what else we see off here.
Yeah, so PXMD, that as was mentioned in the chat, that's getting hit pretty hard here, trying to hold above VWAP, but if it can't hold that, then the next level I would like to see it get some support is about 90 cents.
NXPL just took its VWAP here on pretty decent volume. Let's see if it could take the high out 268 and go higher here.
Yeah, consolidation's a bother.
All right, Q's coming up off the bottom here. SPY is already bouncing too. So market looks like it's putting in a bounce early here.
Rent is just ripping.
What is?
Rent. It's up to $21. It just hit $21 and it's coming back in.
Okay.
The high from yesterday is 24.12.
There's that ZPTA that we were taking a look at there.
Oh, NXPL is also knifed. PXMD knifed.
MNDR, wow, MNDR had a little spike right before the open there and then a big pullback, but it got bought back above its VWAP here, MNDR. This is one of that recent IPO. Some size here at 1150. Watch this spot. They're right on it. A rejection here. This might go lower, probably back down to the VWAP as a first spot there. But if this gets taken, watch for another move to the highs here at MNDR.
Yeah, rent now with 2150 is its high. Very, very spread on this thing. Going higher. kind of have to hold your nose and just jump in at this point if you're
Yeah,
trying to
I'm
play the
not gonna.
upside.
PXMD pulling. It's no longer above $1. It's now a penny stock again.
Yeah, probably 90 cents is where you're going to see a bounce or support for reversal, but we'll see. Same thing with NXPL. That thing's going lower.
Okay.
ALR going lower. Basically, all the movers,
right, yeah.
all the movers that we were talking about.
All those junky
lower.
names. First move down, or first move here is down.
ZPTA though is Seahorse Trading is saying is moving up.
Apple ripping right out of the gate here. Apple had a monster day yesterday. Some AI news here for Apple. Looks like we got some more continuation here today. This going along with the bounce in the Qs.
All right. Well, waiting for some things to shake out, and then maybe they'll present some trades.
ADIL. Good morning, Smoke Tuna. ADIL trading up here. ZPTA from Kingdom Lamb. We want to reclaim of the VWAP here on ZPTA. There's no question.
Rent is halted. It got as high as 22.35.
There you go. First halt of the day. How many did Rent have yesterday?
I remember at least 3.
Yeah, I remember at least 3 too. Let me try and get you a number on that. Yeah, 3. He had 3 halts yesterday.
Good call, Smoke Tuna on ADIL.
Yeah, that thing went.
No, ADIL.
We got 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes till Rent on halts, I think. ADIL 281.
Oh.
Cattle looks like this reclaimed the VWAP, going for those pre-market highs. Watch this level here on cattle, about 711, 710.
Okay.
How's HKD doing?
No, that doesn't look good.
It's dropping here.
MNDR
How did
sideways.
it do with that 1150?
It's kind of sideways at the moment. It popped up to 12, came back in, got support from VWAP down at well, it went under and then came back up. It was at 1080. Now it's trying to get back up. Looks like it wants to try to knock out 12 again, but might be a while. ZPTA getting support from the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. LLR still down. PXMD finding support from that 90-cent level that I was talking about. Whether or not it holds, we'll have to wait and see. NXPL also slowing down its selling, trying to find support at these 225 levels here.
Okay. CCJ, I noticed on the relative volume scanner, this continuing to go higher. This was a monster call, Jay. Great job staying in. This was a successful swing for me. I got out of it a little too early. Looks like LAC here is popping. This really good. I actually still have my calls here for May on LAC. How are those doing, by the way? All right, those are doing pretty well. 40% on those calls. I really would like 100%. Daily chart actually looks really good here on LLAC. Sure looks like we want to kind of break out. Got the 200-day at 1050 there. I'd love to get a run towards that. We'll see if that happens.
Morning, Smoke Tuna. Also, ZPTA really starting to come down now. It's knifing hard. Probably going to end up coming down to somewhere in the 250s.
HUBC, number of chatters mentioning HUBC. Good morning, Webcoin and Miles as well. This trading up to those pre-market highs. See if this takes out 166, 165. Hub C here, good volume, looking good. Dugan, good morning. Good to see you this morning. Adel knifing actually took that VWAP out. See if Adel loses the bottom of the pre-market range here.
Yeah, Hub C. That's an Israeli company, right?
I think so. You know, I did see from here. Hang on. Let me double check that. I actually did see from someone earlier. I haven't confirmed it. There were some sirens going off in Israel. I know they're expecting some type of attack from Iran.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that, I don't have that confirmed though. That's just something I saw floating around out there. So I don't necessarily want to report that.
PXMD. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
PXMD with a nice reversal off 90 cents, coming back up to $1.
I actually don't know if Hub C is Israeli. Sorry, it doesn't mention that here. Anyway.
It says Hub Cybersecurity Israel on the ticker description.
It does? Hub Cybersecurity Ltd.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get you
What ticker are you looking at?
Hub C.
Hub Cybersecurity. I don't see.
Oh,
that
not on Pro. I'm looking at my broker. I'm sorry. I should've
Oh,
mentioned
jeez. I was like, what? Am I blind? What the hell's
that.
going
No.
on?
You kind of got to be looking at what I'm looking at, and that's my fault. I
Yep.
was not being clear.
Okay, Tesla coming up off the bottom here.
Let's see here.
It is Israel. Okay,
Yes.
thank you. GL dumping here. So is it Globe Life? Yep, this actually went through its VWAP. Watch if this reclaims on GL. I don't think this is done. And I don't think this is done. I think you're going to get a number of back and forth here.
Yeah, PXMD is getting back over $1 now. Where's Andy at? We got to tell him that 65 EMA worked again.
Well, let's bring him on next week and do that.
Okay.
That's the plan here. PXMD reclaiming that VWAP. Let's see here.
Hub C beat the pre-market high. It's got a new high of 166. Spies crawling up to 516. Let's take a look. Seems like it's just kind of bouncing its way down. All right. Look at LPTX. Not great with volume, but it just had a pop. Not sure this is going to get going.
That's LPTX.
LPTX, yeah.
Sorry, I was going for some of my tea there.
It's okay. It just had a pop, and now it's just, not trading.
Sam saying Scotty, yes, dude. Let me tell you something. Scotty he's a monster. Watching that yesterday was unbelievable. Can't wait to watch it today. INDO being mentioned. God, it's been a while since we've mentioned that one. We've traded that one before. Look at the rip here on volume on INDO. This is an Indonesian energy company. Oil's moving up here. Oil up almost 3% here today. INDO seeming to be following that.
Let's see what the XLE is telling us.
FCX, a mention here by Jay Rice today. This has been awesome. Lion Atlas has been all over this one for a while here. Good morning, Brett. Great to see you.
Oh, this is great for the XLE. Coming up to that that resistance area that I had.
GL bouncing here, by the way. Let's see if it takes its VWAP up. Maybe I should take some of this. Maybe we should try some GL here, do you think?
That is your call.
Yeah, I know.
Good morning, Brett.
Sorry. Just talking out loud here. Let's see if it can get above the VWAP, show some strength here.
Hub C got to 169, then it came back in, looking for support at VWAP.
Why did you name yourself Stupid Idiot? I don't want to address you as Stupid Idiot. I'm going to call you SI, I think, because I just don't like calling random people idiots. Anyway, SI, I think you can go to masters.com or get the app.
Ryan, you haven't been driving enough.
Oh, wait a second. Let's time out. I said for no reason.
Okay.
Gotcha. Absolutely a reason. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. By the way, ELYM, which we talked about yesterday, really spiking here, folks. ELYM. And that actually went up. But let's take a look at this chart here. This went above yesterday's intraday high. ELYM. Here we go. This getting going here. No position for me on this in any account. ELYM going here.
Rent is open. The first move was down to $21, and now it's recovering and trying to get back up to the briefly put in high of 24.67.
ALLR reclaimed its VWAP here. Good volume, and it's on a block that's got some size here at 343. Look for this to get cracked. ALLR here. Smoke Tuna's on this, saying setting the run here. Let's see. You know what? I feel pretty good about this too, Tuna. I feel pretty good about this too. I almost want to see if it pulls back here. You know what? Let me actually lower this. Let me take a starter here. And now let's see if it pulls back, we can add. If not, we just stop out of it. Let's see here. ALR, I actually really like this spot, Tuna. I think it takes this out. Maybe it pulls back here and shakes out some weak hands. Let's see if it holds the VWAP here. I've got that at 325. So a loss of 325. Here we go. We're back up here. We're back up to 343 here. Are they hitting it yet? I don't see that number changing yet.
I don't think they have enough.
I don't. Yeah, they might not have enough juice.
Here we go.
There we go. There we go. Bang! Right through it. Let's see if it yanks here. Remember, those upside breaks have not been great. Smoke Tuna, great mention on this one. ALLR. Let's see how high we can get here. 350's got some more size, but it's not even a third of what just got destroyed.
There we go. Next level I have is 380. And there's some big sellers at 370 in the way of that.
See if this 360 here, ALR at some point. There we go. They're building some size here, and they're taking it. Wow, the refresh seller there at 358 got hit multiple times. Here we go on ALR. Smoke Tuna, dude.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was real good. That was real good here. We're actually right up at these highs here. 377 looks to be those highs. 370's got some size. 369. Right before, there we go. Let's see if 370 gets taken out. I'll probably close it if we go above this. This was just a small trade here. Let's see if we pop. There we go. Bang, bang, bang.
Nice.
We're out. Nice job, Smoke Tuna. You know what? Loaded a little bit of size. Never came back and never gave me a chance to add. If that gave me an add chance there, we would have really been cooking. We could have shaved partial and kept our exposure for this pop up towards 4. Let's see what happens here on 4. Monster call, Smoke Tuna, right out of the gate. ALLR, bang, bang, bang.
Sounds like you're ready to go driving.
Driving? Yeah, driving the golf ball.
Yes. That's what I mean.
Yes, I am ready to go to the driving range. Yes, it is sunny. I got the Masters on. We got monster calls going on here early. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Oh, we can get Ryan very high on 100 milligram Fruity Pebbles hash cookies. Dude, what are you trying to do to me? What are you trying to do to me, dude?
Is it going to make him say yabba dabba do?
See if ALR pulls back and gives us another setup here. Good way to start the day, or good way for the first trade to go. Let's flip through the scanner here. How's MNDR doing? We got over that 1150. No, not yet. And actually, the size is built there, folks.
Yeah, it looks like ALR is not quite done yet. Still trying to chew through this pre-market consolidation here. 408 is the next upside target I have if it can hold above 380. And it looks like it wants to try to go for it now.
GDX from Lion Atlas. GDX gapping up, moving higher here. Nice job. Nice job. Oh, no wonder we got so much crap for not trading gold yesterday. It gapped up today, of course.
All right, ALR now beneath 380. Still wants to try to get above it. And there's quite a fight happening here through this consolidation.
I wouldn't be. I mean, 4 is absolutely on deck here. I mean, I think we're gonna. Here we go, dude. There we go. Right to 4. There's a rejection at 4. Let's see where this thing settles. Might be able to buy a pullback here on this one too.
This one also is trying to fill a gap. Well, here's the thing. There's a gap that you can see on a daily chart. It goes back to July. We filled it partially earlier this week, and then we came back in, and now we're trying to finish that fill. So we haven't gotten back up into that gap area yet. We're close. The gap area starts just over 408, and it goes all the way up to about 565.
This is ALLR?
Yes, sir. I'm looking at
what chart? Daily.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any gaps on it.
It might just be my broker. This is also one that has a lot of reverse splits.
Here here's what I see for the chart. I just see a slow leak into this bounce.
July 2023 is where the gap is. So I don't think you have it on there. There you go. You're not even back far enough.
Right here. July, yeah, June 2023. Right here. I gotcha. I didn't look to the left enough. 13. Here you go. It's $81 though. Yeah, just
right,
because
like I said, reverse.
Yeah,
split.
this is just because of the reverse splits. Okay, well, that makes sense. We figured it out. Let me go back to the actual trading platform here. Let's see what else you folks are taking a look at. PXMD, is that actually doing something? ALR, real quickly here on ALR, we want to see this flag between here and 353. If it holds above there, I think the next leg up is absolutely possible. PXMD was another one getting mentioned here. Let me actually flip back to my scanner so I can keep an eye on things as well. PXMD trying to reclaim one. I'm not going to mess with this one. I'm going to stay away from this one. Easy Go also appearing on the scanner. We have was this a reverse split or something? That looks like a huge gap. I'm not. Let me check the news here real quick. Easy Go enters into a procurement agreement for the sale and security of patrol robots.
HubC looks like it's getting ready to try to push up through 169 again. It might be worth taking a look at that one for a break.
HubC, have you looked at GL? Yes, we did look at this. This actually reclaimed the VWAP here. Joel, we have a number of people that are actually trading this here today too. Started in the pre-market there.
I like this pullback here from ALR. Let's see if we can hold VWAP.
Thank you, Webcoin. Easy Go 1 to 40 reverse split there, and they also had a PR on top of it. There you go. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. GL did take that VWAP 58 on that VWAP on GL.
Is that right? Up 7,000 and
no, I think that was a reverse split. 1 for 40 reverse split, says Webcoin.
Oh, okay. I was just talking about like how much it's up today.
Easy Go halted. Apple ripping to the high. My God, the move in Apple. Look at this. 178. Apple going back for 180 here.
Seems like rotation, doesn't it?
Indeed.
I mean, look at all the you have rotation out of Tesla, Nvidia, and Meta, and into Apple and Google.
GL continuing to move up above that VWAP.
PXMD still trying to come back. It's going higher. It's above VWAP now. Remember, gap fill is between roughly 130 to 165.
HL trading up here. Apple.
Yes, let's all take a moment and say Happy Friday, everybody. It's
Happy Friday. I can get on board
great.
with that, 13. I can get on board with that.
I just see it, everybody saying Happy Friday in chat, and I'm just like, I agree with that. I agree. It's a good day. We had a good week. We had a good week here.
Yeah, we really did. We really did. Look at Nicola here.
Ooh, what's going on with Nicola?
Line Atlas still long. GL.
So Nicola's, is it moving on?
I mean, at this point, I don't even know. To me, this is junk. Look, I'll be very, very clear. To me, this is junk. It's a junk stock. If you are able to trade this and use it as a vehicle and make some money, good on you. That's awesome. Keep it up. But for me, this is kind of a junk name.
Yeah, I just see that the chairman doubling down on the need for a reverse split, and if they want to regain compliance, I'm sure that's what they're going to have to do.
NXPL here. This might be curling off the bottom on NXPL. INDO trading up here. GL continuing to move up here. Rent curling off the VWAP on Rent, going for 24 again.
Man, that rent stock, that was so much fun yesterday, but I don't know if I want to really touch it today.
I feel you on that one. I didn't want to touch it yesterday.
Did you?
Said I didn't.
I know you didn't want to. I was wondering if you ended up doing it or not.
No, I don't believe
Okay.
so. No.
Okay. Yeah, PXMD above $1 again. Man, that 65 EMA strong.
Let's see if 120 actually stops PXMD.
All right, here we go. Rent $23.
David saying, hope AB held some of his calls. Those were the ones that expired today, right? And I think that, didn't he buy them like super cheap yesterday before the huge run? So he should be in huge profit. And if he got real cheap, does anyone know how many he had? He might be able to trim his position, sell half of it or something like that.
INDO trying to break out here above 370. That's the intraday high.
Plus INDI, the J Rice pick from a long time ago. Still flagging here. Let's see if that moves up. Oops.
ALR trying to find a bottom. Very low volume.
Did all right.
I'm sorry. That was I meant to say ZPTA, not ALR.
Well, ALR is pulling back and looking for a bottom right now. It's snapped beneath the VWAP. It's trying to bottom out here in curl. ZPTA, maybe we did find a bottom here. Is that what you're thinking? 260s?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Now with the ALR, yeah, what you were just saying, we have this pre-market consolidation from about 7 in the morning until open. That is kind of a demand zone right now. So if we can reverse here, probably at the 200 EMA or any of these EMAs that it's trying to push through right now, that would be a good sign. But if we start breaking down beneath 290, that would not be great.
Hey, we're happy we just scalped this one. Wasn't going to stay in, wasn't going to be too greedy. Sally Oost, like I said, every time I see this stock, I think of you, Sally. Good morning. This popping off the bottom here again on Oost. This actually looks like maybe this is curling on the daily chart. Maybe this does make a run back for 10. Here's Hub C holding its VWAP, literally consolidating right above the VWAP.
AG says Lion Atlas first Majestic. This is a silver miner.
Bitcoin selling off here. Bitcoin down to about 70K. It bounced off that 70K level, but it is rolling back over here. Guys, happy Friday. Smash up the like for our community and our group here. You folks have all done really a great job here this week. And you love to see it. You just absolutely love to see it. Make sure you smash up that like. Support our mission here, trying to raise the tide for everybody. Yeah, okay, so he bought 175 calls at 10 cents. Those are 2 points in the money. Yeah, he's doing well on that one. I'm going to actually check the options chain on that. Those are the ones that expire today. The 175, those are up to $3. 10 cents to $3. AB, you're going to get a register ring. You're going to get a one-up. Way to go. Way to go. HubSpot, geez. HUBC popping here.
Yeah.
Look, 165, like, your spot here on HubC.
Yep, I like that spot too. That's the kind of the breakout level. It popped up to 169, but it's been closing and pretty much closing right at the 165 level. So let's see if we can break that. PXMD still trying to stay above $1. NXPL not looking too great. Getting support from the sideways consolidation here. Not sure how long it's going to last. Needs to hold $2.
Stay focused. Good morning. Thank you for smashing that like, man. Great to have you on here. What are we trading? All I've really done is scalped one of these kind of smaller pieces of junk here. In terms of some of the bigger names, I haven't really executed any trades on that. Would love to hear what you're looking at here today and what you saw around that opening print. And stay focused. Happy Friday. I'm making plans to go to the driving range here. I know you can appreciate that. Real quick, we do have a couple other people trading Globe Life here. Ticker GL off after that fuzzy panda short hit yesterday. GL's bouncing. We've had a number of people already ringing the register on this name here today. And also Apple, super strong out of the gate here today. Really doing a good job holding up near this 178 level as well. Oh, let me see if I can pronounce your name. Toshi, appreciate the assist there. Don't forget to tap the notification bell too. That helps the algorithm out. You, sir, are a good person.
Easy Go is suspended, halted. Looks
Again,
like
that's the second one here today.
Looks like NXPL is going right for $2.
ADIL maybe curling off the bottom here. NXPL going for $2. Looks like that's trying to bounce here. We'll see.
ALR after some devastation, it's trying to recover.
Okay. See if we get another one there. Another trade set up there. Another one. That doesn't make any sense. CPNG. Ooh, this is a nice move here today. Actually, look at this daily chart. Look at this clean. Let me go to a bigger chart here. Coupang. This is actually a real company here. Look at this chart. Look at it. What do you think about this, 13? Look at this.
Well, that's quite a gap.
First of all, this thing moved off 1350 thereabouts. Really nice power move. Nice little regression back to the mean, then a move higher. We gapped above all of the. Did we actually take that out? No. So I guess we got a double top right where we're at right here.
Wow, ramped over 25. Geez.
Nice looking chart there. I'll tell you that. Let me go back to trade the pool here. Stay focused saying it's all about the chips for me this morning. Pretty much done for the day. Okay, what did you hit early? That's a nice short day. You're Usain Bolt type stuff here, punching the clock. That's real short. That's awesome.
Rent over 26. It's at 26.23 is the high.
Let me go over to that. Man, this rent. Getting a shout out here, 13 from Stay Focused on that XLE move.
Oh, thank you. I guess it's not getting halted. It looked like it was about to get halted there for a second because it was just building up a whole bunch of orders like it's doing right now. But yeah, thank you. Stay focused.
Well, so rent touched the level, but they didn't hold it there, right? That's what happened. Those orders, 26.69. Now it's halted. Yeah, this is the second halt of the day here for rent. 26.69. Nice. We'll see if rent actually comes back in or if it trades a little bit higher here. We got a 10-minute. This is a 10-minute halt, right? I think so. So we're looking at about 10 minutes until that opens.
Easy Go is open. It's printed a high of 318. Now coming back in, but recovering. And it looks like it's going to go higher.
Rent is insane.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You know what we haven't checked here yet today?
Spoken to the same Pixie. Sorry.
Shame on me. We haven't checked root. Okay, so we pulled back. We're really kind of holding that level that we bottomed out at here at root. Let's call it 65. No, it's 66.47 here, but we really kind of consolidated around the 65 handle on root. What do you think? We got the 20-day moving average pretty much right here.
Easy Go is ripping right now.
Okay, sorry, I'll go to that. I'll take a look at root here near the end of the day and see where we're at. Easy Go is indeed ripping here. This not for me, but here we go. I think Carmen liked this one for a while. AMD, stay focused. So you were trading this short here. This thing absolutely rejected at the VWAP. This has no strength here. Really weak in the pre-market, continued to weaken on the same type of volume into the open. And then on the opening print, the bounce to the VWAP immediately sold. I'm assuming, stay focused, your entry was right here on that VWAP rejection short. Nice move here in Nvidia. In AMD. Nice move to the downside here in AMD. Now we're trying to defend this, 162? See if 162 ends up cracking here. Only 50 cents away.
You just upset all the Nvidia bulls by calling.
I know.
AMD.
I assume that's one of those things where you say it and you're like, no, come back here. Give it back to me. I made a mistake. That's one of those. It is what it is. For all of you that are constantly rolling through tickers, Someday, as long as you don't have any loved one around that might, call a doctor if you're talking to yourself, try saying them out loud over and over and over again. I'm telling you, it's more difficult than you think. You stumble over them all the time. AMD actually looks like this wants to print some new lows here today.
Wisdom, thanks. I thought we may have looked at this one earlier this week. SBR. I don't remember if it was in live trading or happy hour, but thanks for putting this back on my radar.
SMR or SBR?
SBR. Like a short barrel rifle.
Yeah, that's okay. No volume on SBR.
Yeah, this is a royalty. This is a trust for gas, oil, minerals, and I'll look more into this. But it has a nice dividend, so that's why I'm interested.
Gurn, this was a nice move and a nice daily chart here. This continued extended continuation. Easy for me to say. Rick saying, I make up names for tickers. Rick, so do I. I love hearing this. I'd love to know what your favorite pet tickers are. The one and only Rob Smith, RIP, of course, had perhaps one of the best ones. Tesla, he would call Tesla. And it was, look, going for nicknames, that helps introduce a little bit of fun into this whole thing, maybe relieve some of that stress. I'm all about that, Rick. I got a couple of them myself. BBAI is Bebe.
So does that mean that ZPTA, since Zapata is shoe, does that mean this is shoe puting?
Shoe puting?
Is that what we're going to call this one, shoe puting, because it's Zapata computing?
Oh my God, MNDR. What a yank. This bad. Is right back to 1150. It is still on this 1150 pin. Watch this if it goes. Hopefully, and really quick, hopefully none of you really had stops set in here because you probably got flushed.
Oh
my God, there's 1150. Big move through that 1150, popping to a high here, 1228. I think this is going to halt here.
This is
if it holds.
High from yesterday. That's interesting.
MNDR. Who's still in this one?
Oh, look, Hub C's going too.
MNDR halted to the upside, 1228. MNDR. Wow, we saw that. Nice. Whoever's still trading that one, nice. God, look, that was so nasty too. That yank to flush people out, then bang to the highs on a new. Oh, please tell me that you folks that were trading this did not get flushed on that.
Hub C's trying to push.
Nice job, Danielle. Go.
Nice.
Let's flip over to Hub C while this is halted. Sorry, I got really excited there. 13. I had to.
I hadn't noticed.
Hub C looking like it's trying to set some new highs here.
Speaking of new highs, Easy Go's open, and that's making new highs. Yeah, I think STFU, you're right. That was one hell of a flush. Everybody's like, what happened? Palantir, green on the day, looking for 23.
It actually might not be a terrible ad spot if you're going to kind of hold this long. And I don't necessarily mean as like a trade, more kind of a longer term trade. I know I kind of want more of this for long term. And I'm trying to think of some levels that I've added. Obviously, the 200 at 1850 would be glorious. I'm not sure we get there. But I like this one.
The SPY looks like it's falling right now and going to be testing 1345, which was the low that we had before we opened.
Yeah, wake me up at 512. That's the spot I really care about.
Gotcha. Easy Geo put in 374 as the high before coming back in. Now testing VWAP.
ALLR, let's see if we can get that VWAP reclaim here. I've got that at 347. We'll see if we end up getting that ALLR.
Hub C having a hard time breaking out to the new highs. I have 190 as my next upside target.
PXMD trying to reclaim its VWAP. Did AMD flush lower? No, AMD back to the VWAP here.
You know, Justin, that's a good question. I don't know exactly who it's meant to protect, but Ryan, do you have any
that's a circuit breaker. It's a circuit breaker. So when it moves a certain percentage in a certain short amount of time, I can't remember what the actual number. I should look that up here, and I will do that when I get a sec here. It's just a circuit breaker halt. It's basically designed to protect everybody. I know they say it's designed to protect retail guys too. I mean, they don't want thin stocks moving hundreds of points in a range back and forth, right? So.
Or they could be having these circuit breakers in place for I'm trying to think of what they're called. When you accidentally have one of those fat finger moves, or an algo gets it wrong and causes there's a particular term for that. I'm trying to think of what it's called, and I can't think of it. I'm drawing
here.
Right now.
Circuit breakers are temporary measures to halt trading to curb panic selling on stock exchanges. U.S. regulations have 3 levels of circuit breakers, which are set to halt trading. This is just for the S&P. So this is 7, 13, and 20%. That's for the large. Let's look for individual names here. Here we go. Key parameters for the circuit breaker system. Other stocks priced over $3, you're at 10 and 20% are the 2 ranges there. Greater than or equal to 75 cents, but less than $3, 20 to 40%. And all stocks under 75 cents, 75 or 150%.
Flash
There's
crash.
a number of different,
That's what it's trying to. That's what they're there for to prevent flash crashes.
Anyway.
Hub C went way down. Might be recovering now.
Look at Palantir continuing to push here. Someone was asking about Palantir earlier, I think. It's having a nice day, nice volume too here on Palantir.
Pre-market high is 2306. It's almost there.
GL looks like this is kind of rolling over here. This broke beneath the VWAP here, looking like it's going to try and test 56 to the downside here.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. LPT it looks like MNDR is back open, going higher.
Okay, let me bring that up here. That was wild. That MNDR move was wild.
Yeah, it just had a wild move out of the gate here. LPTX is another one that I was looking at. I'd mentioned it earlier, but it has really low volume. It just has a nice chart set up. So volume starts to pick up. This could get moving, but it's too slow moving for me right now.
Okay. MNDR still trying to push here. Going for that 14 handle.
Rents at 27. Jeez. Yeah, STFU flash rises too. Exactly. Well, Kodak. Kodak's a whole different story, because every time that Trump came on, that stock would run.
That was wild.
That was so funny. It's like, as I remember, being in chat rooms, and we would get news that he's coming on at to do a speech or some announcement, and everybody's like, load up on Kodak. It's gonna root, and it would always do that.
When it first happened, I remember the chat room that I was in at the time. There was a lot of confusion. They were like, "What's next? Polaroid? What on earth is coming back here to make these ridiculous runs?"
Well, the thing with Kodak is that there was a news headline about how Trump was looking to tap their chemical compounds for some kind of COVID disinfectant, or COVID, something that had to do with COVID in Kodak. And I don't remember the exact headline, but it had something to do with the chemicals they use for developing film. That there was some kind of thing they could do to bring COVID down. I don't know. I don't think anything materialized out of it. Just a pure pump piece.
Yeah. Oh, you don't say. You don't say. Stay focused. Asking here real quick, Ryan. Think AMD is setting up again. What do you say, pal? Well, okay, a couple of things here on AMD. So first of all, this really did come down and kind of tapped that 100-day moving average. Let me just make sure that's the one that I have in here. Yeah, 100-day moving average. So that sell-off that you hit short here earlier, hit that moving average, and now we're trying to bounce off it. Now we've reclaimed that VWAP. This looks like this is pushing. I mean, are you looking for another short opportunity? Are you looking to kind of reverse and maybe trade this back up towards a 167 handle, which is 3 points away? I guess, what are you kind of looking at here? I would say that for this to really kind of pull back, first of all, if this is going to retest that level, it's going to need some real pressure to kind of break through it, I feel like. And probably want the broader market to participate with that as well. Broader market here is bouncing. I mean, I think so. I'd actually wait for this on a VWAP though. Take care of yourself, man. Go low when you play golf.
See you later. Go low.
That's what they say. That's what they say to each other. Put up a low score. GL looks like it's trying to bounce a little bit here. Ticker GL.
MNDR got up to 14.
There it goes.
Oh, there's a lot of sideways action in most of these, if not down. Easy Go looks like it wants to keep going.
VIX at 1759. Apple pulled back to a 177 level. Tesla tried to bounce off 171. DXZY is selling off, or DXYZ, I beg your pardon. What a huge move this was. This thing, where did this get to? Almost 100, right? Yeah. 90s.
No, you're right, Stay Focus. It's the volume really has kind of just left the building.
And we've seen that. That's kind of been like a pattern, right? We've seen the volume be all right, and then all of a sudden just kind of drop off.
Yeah, this is pretty early, though. Like, we haven't even been at this an hour, and it just seems like it's kind of going away real fast.
X-Sniper, I don't know, Ryan, but I feel like once you mention a stock, it goes the other way. X-Sniper, if this holds up, then I am a money maker for you. Just fade literally everything I say. Do the opposite. If you notice that this is a pattern going on right now, oh my goodness, you could be in real good shape. National Grilled Cheese Day, really, Sid?
Ooh, maybe I'll make some tomato soup as well.
Ugh, makes me gag. Tomato soup is gross. Hub C broke through its VWAP.
Broke down through its VWAP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are those banks doing? Ooh, JPM took another leg lower here. How did some of those other banks that reported this morning? Wells Fargo basically flat. Citi came back in and went lower. Wow, green to red. Move on that.
Yeah, we're headed down today. It looks like. I don't know what. I don't know if 512 is going to provide a recovery if we if it does get down there. Let's see. Well. Oh wow, rats are testing 28 now. Jeez. Where does this thing stop? I mean, it might go to 30, to be honest.
Around here, how about ELYM after that initial pop there? We've really just kind of pulled back. Hasn't really done much of anything.
Looks like AG. Well, still has pretty low volume, but it's starting to curl.
Ganner really kind of dried up too. Even like the real crap, like HKD is not really doing much of anything.
I'd like to think
that.
I'd like to think that INDO is going to get going to keep moving up here, but these wicks that they've been putting in on the 5-minute chart over the past hour or so is just not looking great, and the volume's not looking great either. Okay, I don't even know what to say. This doesn't look like there's a whole lot of things happening right now to the upside.
PWP selling off. So Smoke Tuna saying PWP at the open, it sells off. And then everyone buys back later in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should add to PWP down at these levels. Is that what you're saying? Maybe.
Just waiting to see if Brent's going to push up to 30 or not. That's about the only fun thing to watch right now. Everything else is just rolling on over. Did Indo break out? Nope. Nope. Everything's going down. Well, any plans for the weekend?
Me?
Yep.
Golf, baby.
Just golfing?
Masters, we golf on TV, golf on the course. Masters and the golf course across the street.
Kingdom Land, it seems like they're all watching the Masters.
We're all the day trade. I'm telling you. Yeah, Tiger playing more than a full round here today. It's Friday, everyone gone. Sam, you're onto it. That's common. Here's what I will say about this, though. One of the story that one of the guys that I considered a mentor when I first started in this business, he was telling me, always be ready, right? Always be ready. And if you have a plan and you execute your plan and you leave early, that's one thing. But if you're at your terminal, always be ready, because you never know when that trade is going to present itself. And he was telling me a story about how it was some Friday in June. He was one of the only people in his office at the time. This is back before everyone was trading at home. I think this was in the 90s. He was in his office at the time, and there was some news story that came out, and he's like, "Oh God, that's important." He bought a ton of it. It was like 40% on a huge, like institutional size in a matter of moments. So it was the moral of the story. I wish I knew the ticker. I'll reach out to him and ask. I don't think it's a company that exists anymore. But the moral of the story is always be ready, because Friday afternoon in the summer, generally a very, very slow time. But somebody dropped news, it moved the stock, and those that were ready were able to take advantage of it.
Yeah. Kind of feels like that SCFU. Just a whole bunch of information that people really didn't want to see. They wanted to see a cooler CPI report. They really want the rates to be cut. All right.
Ex-sniper, when are you going to golf with my boy Trump? I would never get invited to that. If he did invite me, I would go. I bet he only plays really nice courses. But I'm a nobody. PXMD getting mentioned here. What's PXMD doing?
Still above $1.
Smoke Tuna miraculously somehow, since you mentioned PWP, stock has bounced 8 cents. Just from when you mentioned it, it was literally on the low, and now it's trading back up. Your timing is pretty crazy. We'll see if that holds up.
CNXA, Smoke Tuna saying it keeps going.
Yeah, it sure does.
This was moving yesterday too.
Yeah, this was flirting with penny territory and just bounced clean off that $1 level.
I think rent might be slowing down here. And I say that, and it's probably going to put in a green candle.
Yeah, STFU, I've heard the same thing. I don't go out to golf in order to beat people. I go out there to have a good time. Hopefully someday I'll be good enough to go out there and beat people. But at this point, I mean, I started playing 2 years ago, just to give you an idea. I'm still a rook. Apple. Oh, this was a great call, Daniel. This came right back to the VWAP and is starting to push away from that. Great spot, Daniel. Sharp eye, keeping an eye on Apple there.
Rent will go up next month. Well, I'd like it to go up this month.
Doc said 3 months until you can golf there, Jay. Oh, man, I'll be counting those down with you. You're not going to be able to golf until summer in Arizona. Oh, my God, it's going to be a million degrees.
Now rent's really starting to break down here. Might be going to VWAP.
ALLR tried to test the VWAP here and was rejected. Can't get above it yet. I don't think there's strength until it can prove that. Here's rent on that pull to the VWAP that 13 was just mentioning. 13, I'm going to step away for just 1 sec here.
No problem. Palantir, this thing has just been ripping all morning. It's now at a high of 23.19. Trying to go higher. 23.20 is next. You going to put it in? Maybe? All right. What else are we looking at? Oh, not bad in a sea of reds. CCJ LEUURA. Is ALLR still? It looks like it tried to get back to VWAP and it's got smacked back down. My VWAP's really close to the 345 level that I have here. So a little bit of added pressure to that, into breaking through that. What else we got? And Marvel, EasyGo is trying, and Marvel is testing highs. Let's look at EasyGo. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to get going there. And look at Marvel, MRVL. What's happening here with Marvel testing the highs of the day, looks like. Is EasyGo going to push through and take out 380? That's what we're going to find out, but it's got to get through that wall at 370. Now it looks like some sellers are coming in. We're just talking about EasyGo right now.
Okay, let me flip over to it. Sorry about the disruption.
No worries. Rent bounced off of VWAP. It recovered a bit, but hasn't completely gotten all the way back up. I don't know. It might be a point where I'm just going to sit on my hands, shortly here. Things that look like they're about ready to go, they don't go.
Yeah, I don't know that really kind of loading up before the weekend is necessarily the best plan.
Who's loading up before the weekend?
I'm saying I don't know that that's a good move to do. So I run by the Diversey driving range golf course every day for my marathon training. In Chicago, Diversey in Chicago, a great day out by the lake. Yeah, I would imagine, especially today. What are you looking at? About 51 degrees, a little cool, but I bet it's awesome out there. Tiger just teed off round 2. Saw that. What did you think of his first round there? +1. Think he makes it through there? Think he makes the cut and sets the new record? VIX still holding up at the highs here. Market still looks like this could really kind of roll over here.
Yeah, it looks like EasyGo is trying to get going, but that volume needs to expand some more. Oh, man. Take a look at some of these bigger names here. Vasu is saying check AGX.
AGX, okay.
It's got a nice. What is this about?
Yeah, let me actually look this up. This is a nice move here. He's on to something. This stock's up 23% here today. What is going on with AGX? Good. Oh, this had earnings after hours yesterday. EPS beat 89-cent EPS versus 75-cent estimate. Big beat there. Sales 164 million versus the 161 estimate. Looks like a decent guide as well. They declared a dividend. So this Argon, is this United States company that primarily operates in the power industry services segment through its wholly owned subsidiaries, Gamma Power Systems and affiliates. So this isn't, there's a reactor in Illinois that's Argon. This is not the same. Those are both in the telecom and power services. Interesting. This one not on my radar. Good mention here, Vasu, on this. I don't know about a new trade here. Let's see where we look at this daily. Look at a weekly here. Look at this. This is a nice looking chart here. Let's see if it actually goes for those highs. I don't know enough about this one. Maybe we'll do some homework on this one. Vasu, appreciate you bringing this up. This looks like a stock that I don't often take a look at. I really appreciate that. And especially now, because I don't have a whole lot going on. Now's the time to kind of get familiar with some of these things.
EasyGo looks like it's trying to get going here. Trying to break 380. Is it going to do it? I see everybody else saying EasyGo. Is it going to EasyGo?
I'm not buying that break. Just letting you know that right now.
Oh, it looks like the sellers are piling back in. Looks like it's going to be an easy go, easy come. Easy come, easy go.
Yep. Apple actually looking like it's holding in here. This actually might try and break down from here on Apple.
I mean, I'm trying to wrap my head a little bit around argan, because we were just talking about the increased demand for electrical energy in the United States, and the CPI report just showed you just how much that demand is. It was like the highest energy inflationary index. You had the electricity services, which are basically utilities. That was at 5%. Meanwhile, you had gas utilities in the negative because of a varying number of factors. We have larger supply of the White House administration, pausing approvals to export. So there's a number of reasons why you have utility gas down and electricity up. And we have electricity demand coming out coming out our ears right now. We have EVs, we have crypto mining, we have I had a couple other things that we just
AI.
Yes, AI data centers. Yes, exactly. So the electrical grid in the United States is going to need some huge upgrades, and that could be what this movement is that we're seeing off this one. But I don't see any news related to that, so I'm not sure. This is just off of earnings probably and the dividend. But they do have a earnings call transcript, so might be worth taking a look at that.
Yeah, that's what I mean about like the homework. It might be worth looking into that one. INDO, this taking the next leg up here. INDO.
Looks like
INPP was another one that we traded along with this back in the day, but this not having nearly as good of a move.
The anagram for that is pretty funny. NXPL trying to push back up through $2.
For INDO?
No. Oh wait, which one? What were you asking? I'm saying NXPL.
I didn't catch. Yeah, I didn't catch the anagram joke. It went over my head.
Oh, it was the IMPP. Ticker.
Okay, got it.
You figured it out. All right.
No, I figured it out. So Argon owns a bunch of energy companies on the East Coast. Wonder how they fit in with like Dominion and Southern.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the demand is as high as the CPI's report, suggesting, I don't think it's going to matter. They're all going to probably do well.
You're right. I think you're probably right about that, actually.
The easy don't go. Yeah, Sally.
Did it finally move through it? No. Okay, so it's back down to its VWAP here.
Yeah. Not enough risk on.
NXPL's trying to come off the curl here, or curl off the bottom, excuse me.
At some point, the SPY is going to test 513.50 again, and that might be the test that it causes it to break down. Okay. NXPL up through 2 again. Is this recovering? That's the question.
Rent, nice clean bounce off of its VWAP. We'll see if it goes higher here. Not interested in rent.
Yeah, that was a nice bounce. And it could get going here too. MNDR, same thing. That's a nice bounce off its VWAP, and it's starting to get going too. It has a high of $14.
That thing's wild. What a wild move on MNDR. How's some of the other IPOs? How's Reddit doing? Do we move lower here? Yeah. Okay. So it looks like we bounced yesterday with the market, but moving lower here. Reddit's really not doing much of anything.
Maybe it's finding a bottom. But like we were talking about yesterday, I still think that one's going lower.
AGX, did you see my above post? I didn't. Possibly similar to CEG. Constellation Energy. Okay.
screw rent. MRTG is a way better option. Is it moving like rent though? I think
But I think he's making a joke, right? Mortgage, MRTG. Yeah, he's making a joke.
Okay.
It's not a ticker.
You got me.
You got it.
You got me.
You are fake news.
Yeah. There you go.
We've got the drop there for a reason. Might as well use it.
Oh, look at INDO. See ya.
That just reminded me of the song Gin and Juice.
Oh, a Snoop Dogg classic.
That was a classic, man. That is a song I grew up with. Let me see. Let me check that out, Jay. Let me take a look at my news feed there on Reddit. INDO pushing to the highs here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you were absolutely right, Jay. Announced the first quarter results. So their first earnings report, May 7th. What do you think that's going to look like, Jay? That's, by the way, that's after the market close. So you're going to have May 7th. What day is that? May 7th is a Tuesday. Okay. So you're going to have Monday and Tuesday to plan for it. What do we think? I mean, I don't think it's going to be great. I don't know.
The INDO stock, okay, so if you look at it daily, we just pushed through that the high from October 18th. That was 438. And that's also lines up with the consolidation if you look even further left. So we could start seeing a slowdown in INDO. If it could push up to maybe in the above 450, but there's still some more consolidation there too. So watch for this to start slowing down.
Yeah, I got no news on INDO either. I don't see anything in there. This is really ripping to the highs here. Wisdom. I could see Ryan riding a lowrider. I speed is my jam. Big wheels and riding low to the ground and custom lights and paint and all that stuff that I have to worry about every time I take the car out of the garage. No thanks. Give me some power. When my right foot goes down, the car needs to go zoom, zoom. It's going to be a Reddit chat fest. Earnings call. The AMC meme gang going to drill the CEO with questions.
Nice.
You know what, though? I'd listen to that, Jay. I'd listen to that one. That would be pretty entertaining, not going to lie.
Here we go with SPY. The thing that I was talking about is happening right now. If you look at the lower time frame, less than a day, you can see that level that I was talking about, the 513, 40, 45 level that we just visited, that started breaking down. We're headed towards 513. Looks like 512 is going to be on deck for support again.
Yep, here you go. So SPY breaking lower here. Lower we go through 513 right now. Got 512 prints. Lower we go. Who was it earlier this week that was telling us that everything was going to go back up? I can't remember, but false.
Maybe not this week.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if 512 provides any type of support here for the SPY. I think that gets tested. Only 70 cents away at this point.
Look at the chart on Palantir. So this thing had a nice move all for the pretty much the whole morning, all the way up to 2320. Now it's just breaking down. This looks like it's trying to form a bull flag. Now, if this is going to play out the way that these do, the way that these resolve, we're going to need to see some support here really, really soon. Probably as low as maybe 2285 or 2290. And it's going to and it's going to reverse. So if this resolves the way that these are meant to, we should see some support here real soon and then recover.
Okay, this is a nice little move back down to VWAP, tapping it there. Felipe saying, what car fits the bill, Ryan? Well, there's many. I currently have a Ford Fusion Sport that I've done some modifications to. It surprises a lot of people. They just think, oh, you have a Ford Fusion, you're going to get your doors blown off. And it's like, see ya, you got dusted. So that's fun. Corvette, probably my favorite car of all time. I saw someone in the chat earlier. Here we go. Corvette. I like you just on general principle, by the way. By the way, calling oil to 92, I think you mean the CL, the crude futures here. That's 87.67. So that's moving up here. Corvette, my favorite car of all time. Take a Mustang.
So that means that
I built a 98. I built a 1998 Trans Am where I pulled the engine out. Did cams, ported my own, or did it replace the cam, ported my own heads, full exhaust, computer tuning. That car ran 11s, high 11s. That was fun.
So is it safe to say that if you had to choose any classic car to be yours forever, and it's just one, it would be some kind of classic Corvette?
Probably, yeah. Like the classic. Rick's right here, by the way. Instead of spending 40K on a new car, buy a classic. They look awesome too. These classic cars are something else. I think if I went for a classic, yeah, it'd probably be that.
I like the Novas of the late 60s. I like their design. The early 70s too weren't too bad. But that would be the car I go with. I just like the body style.
Palantir still trying to bounce here.
Yeah, it's recovered more than it was when I was talking about it. So that's good news.
PXMD. This is really coiling above the VWAP. Look for this. Maybe this is going to be one of those afternoon plays that we see here sometimes where it doesn't really do much of anything in the morning and then bang, in the afternoon, it gets wild. PXMD maybe above 110 here.
Miles is going to have to send us a picture of his
72 Nova. Yeah, you can email that to me. Here, I'll go ahead and, by the way, anyone that wants to show me cool cars, throwing my email in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Just email me pictures of cars. Yeah, that'll work.
That's an even better way to end the Friday.
That'll work. Yo, so Murray's saying go to the Mecum auction, daily drivers, or daily classics. I actually went. So the last 2 years I've gone to Arizona to go to the golf tournament, the Phoenix Open. And it turns out that the Barrett-Jackson car show, I think, is the week or two before. And for I've never been to one, but all of my Arizona folk that I know, they tell me like the city shuts down, like they do all types of crazy stuff. Kids get a break from school because of Barrett-Jackson. And the amount of ridiculous classic cars you can see at one of those, that'd be something else. I'd really like to go to that. I'd really, really like to go to that.
I got a classic car to show you here. It's my father-in-law's. Just give me 1 second. I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, you take your time. Take your time. Cattle popping out of that range here today. So cattle getting rolling here, actually volume expanding as well. Wisdom, don't get yourself blocked. Don't get yourself blocked and banned for doing something stupid.
There you go. I sent
everything is dried up here. Okay, well, at least there's a car to look at because this is yours.
No, it's my father-in-law's. One day it'll be though.
Man,
he goes to car shows with that thing.
Here, just so everyone else doesn't feel cheated here, let me help you out with this. So here's what 13 just sent me, folks. I know we're kind of breaking away from the market. Things have slowed down here. Happy to take a look at anything that you guys are seeing out there. Here's 13's classic car. Look at that.
That's badass.
That is sweet looking. It's probably a lot of work to get that thing to look that clean. Oh my goodness.
I'm not planning anything. I'd love that for that man to stay alive as long as possible. So technically I don't want it because if he's alive, it's not going to be mine. Yeah, nothing's working today for me.
I was 1 for 1 today. I didn't do a whole lot, but I was 1 for 1 today. Wax on, waxed off. That's funny.
Yeah, it's got a rumble seat too.
That is sweet, 13. That is sweet. NXPL is moving here.
Looks like INGOs.
Yeah, maybe curling off the bottom there, NXPL.
Yeah.
We'll see. Texas, that is badass. Yeah, indeed. Indeed.
Texas?
DJT.
That's kind of like my state. Texas.
I don't think I have. Let me see if I have any pictures of my old Trans Am that I built. I don't think I do.
That'd be cool. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I don't know if I do. It would be in.
Let's go.
I'm gonna have to go through stuff. Like I'm gonna have to go through backup folders. Let's see if I've got any pictures.
Looks like ZPTA is trying to come off the bottom here. MACD's suggesting the same.
ZPTA.
Mm-hmm. INDO going. Yeah, Kingdom Lamb. I agree. They had some really cool cars and just didn't pan out for that company. That was let's see, that was one of the casualties of the auto crisis, right? Back around the same time as the Great Recession. I'm trying to think of when we started losing Pontiac. It's about 2008, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're on to something there. I can't remember the exact date. God, all of these are. I have some old pictures here, but I don't have the real old ones. I can't believe I don't have that. Try and find some of that for you. That car was awesome. I still have the VIN number memorized.
Oh wow.
So let's see if we can let's see if we can. I think the guy that bought it ended up blowing it up. So 2G2FV22G9W22150079 is the VIN.
Felipe, if you're looking for...
Oh, look at that. Here we go. Vehicle history, Pontiac Firebird. Let's see if there's some images here. Let's see if I can...
Well, it's just going to be a picture of you standing next to it.
No, I don't think that would happen.
Getting mentioned from Roblox, but before that, SQQQ, I mean, it's a possible play every time the market looks like it's going to roll over. I bought some yesterday and I sold this morning.
So real quick, I can't find a picture of it, but Alert Vin was able to find the Pontiac Firebird that I was talking about. But so good to know that I still have the VIN number memorized. Reason I was able to do that, by the way, is because here's auto auction history. Oh, look, here it is. Yes. Dude, this is the guy that blew it up, the guy that bought it for me. So you'll be able to look at, I wish I could get a bigger picture of this. Oh, man. So when I sold the car, it had a blown motor and some guy bought it and threw nitrous in it. I can tell this is the car because these are the aftermarket wheels that I bought. And the Trans Am badge that's along the side is actually black. I replaced that. Oh, God, I wish I could find this picture bigger.
You can hit Control and use your scroll wheel to zoom in.
Let's try that one more time.
Hold Control and scroll.
There it is. Oh my God. Oh my God. He set it on fire. He blew it up. Yeah. He blew that up with nitrous. That is wild.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go.
That's why he put lighter wheels on it too. Here's the black Trans Am badge. There it is. That's crazy. This was taken in 2019.
Look at INDO.
Wow. Okay. Sorry about the little trip down memory lane there. That was fun though. Let me go back to trade the pool here. Yeah, sorry, 13.
Yeah,
okay,
INDO,
anyway.
This thing's ripping right now. Looking for $5. And then with Roblox, I took a look at that. Not really moving that fast, and this is not a company I want to even touch right now, especially since they're losing hundreds of millions of dollars every quarter. I just don't know how Roblox gets to profitability. Their losses have only increased. I just don't know. Yeah, STFU, it's funny. It's funny how fast cars get you more speeding tickets. It's just like you're a magnet for police. Oh, that car looks like it could be a ticket. Oh, he's starting to go over the speed limit. Let's get him.
I don't see the... Here we go. Oh, yeah. So that's the Z06, Danielle. I think with the convertible. Yeah, that is a sweet looking car. I worked
Nice,
on many of those when I worked in a shop.
Nice call on Hollow. That one is having some nice move up here today. It's it's really just a 30, basically a 34 35 cent move since we've hit the lows, and that's fine. There's you can get some profit in there, but I don't know that this is going to start doing the things that it did previously, where it was going up to over $100. There's a lot
That
of
was just craziness.
There's a lot of consolidation right close to where it's headed. So somewhere between 310 and 305, it's probably going to have a hard time going up higher. So just be aware of that. Didn't help the thing like to cruise at 100 miles an hour. Gosh, wasn't it the McLaren that kind of the faster you go, the smoother it is? That's
how my Trans Am was. Over 100, the thing was like a dream. It was literally like a dream. But that I had such an aggressive cam. The funniest thing is when I took it to the emissions place, the first time after I really did the cam and the exhaust, and I pulled it up, the guy's just looking at me. He goes, he didn't think I was going to pass. He just shook his head and he goes, "Man, that shit sounds pissed off." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And then I drove it in there. He plugs it in. He's like, "Oh, you're good. You passed on everything." I'm like, "See ya." Good times. Good times.
I wish we had some good times here in this market instead of these,
this is deader than dead. Rent maybe curling here towards the top. GL, did that stop its breakdown? It's slowing down here on GL. I don't really see anything else great on the scanner here. IMPP, this at the highs here. So there's some more energy names here at the highs. How are some of the bigger energy names doing? Yeah, they're holding up here. XOM holding up. CVX. Actually, this is actually moving a little bit lower here on CVX. USA, that's another former runner on the scanner here. Oh my God, this popping. Look at the volume expansion here on USA, another energy name.
Energy is the play today.
Sure
Looks like the SPY, we're almost down to 512 here. I mean, we got to
50 cents away, dude. 50 cents away.
Yeah. Not too far away, man. It's not looking like a good day for the market. I think we might get a breakdown of 512 here if this keeps going. There's just no stopping this. All right, Rent. Are you just gonna give back everything that you
Look at GBR? Here's another new concept energy moving to the highs.
It's James.
McLaren is a Commander's receiver. Scary Terry, baby. Scary Terry. That's actually hilarious. He does get better with age. He's like wine in that regard. HKD. So this did nothing today. This is one of those other rippy. This really, this did nothing. I'm glad we stayed away from that. PXMD.
Knife, yeah.
Knifing away from its VWAP.
Looks like Hollow's about to come back in. CADL got to 750 and it came crashing down.
Oh, hidden refresh seller in Husa. Appreciate that, Kingdom Lamb. Here, easy go. Is that selling off? Yep.
SPY. Here we go. We're beelining right for 512.
SMCI near the lows of the day. Nvidia at the lows. Apple actually retracing a lot of its move, and now I hope AB sold those calls. As soon as that thing reversed, I bet that premium got sucked out of it. Here's SPY going for that 512 here.
It's so close. Could it bounce? We'll see.
I think this is going to go under here. 512. This is going to get broken right here, I think.
We just tested it 512.02. I'm looking for a bounce here.
Remember when Stay Focused was asking us if AMD was setting up for another short?
Yeah.
It was about $1. It went $1 higher, and then it rolled back over to the VWAP. Now it actually looks like it wants to crack this. We got the market pulling here. Dude, Stay Focused. That was timely. Timely.
What's causing the drop? It could be a number of factors. I mean, I know that there's, we just got those bank reports. I'm sure a lot of people aren't liking those right now. I mean, and we just kind of had a lot of overbuying on a lot of those bank stocks too. So those are selling. we're just not getting a whole string of great news lately this week.
JPM next leg lower. Wow.
Yeah. So it's just line atlas, exactly. Inflation,
Yep.
just a lot of negative things. So we probably get a bad week this week. Could have a better week next week. We'll just have to see what happens. But nice bounce off 512. So still a technical level. Now here's what I want to see. If we start trading back up, we're going to hit another level, probably somewhere between 513.50 and 514. If we reverse there and we start headed back towards 512, I'd like to think that we're going to break through that 512 on that revisit. Uh-oh, is rent done?
Yeah, Jay, I agree. JPM down 11 points here. That is a big move from. What do you take away from this, Jay? Do you think the rest of the bank earnings might not be great? Looking to play any of those? Well, how Wells Fargo's still about flat here. Citigroup lower. Like I said about the bank trade, it's been tough. Morgan Stanley, how are they doing after that pull yesterday? Okay, Morgan Stanley holding lower. This was on news of an investigation into their trading practices, I believe. Morgan Stanley not bouncing yet. DJT getting mentioned. Yeah, that was a nice little bounce off the 30 level there.
MNDR coming off VWAP. Let's see what happens there. NXPL, I don't know. PXMD, that's back down at the 65. Now, this EMA provided support previously. I'm not too confident it's going to do the same thing again.
PXMD, I mean, I maybe keep it on your list for later, but this looks done to my eye.
Yeah, some of those morning movers just aren't really moving anymore. So SPY covering off that 512 bounce, looking for somewhere between 513.50 and 514 for a reversal.
Easy go.
Easy go. Is that going again?
Nah, it's just kind of holding in here.
A little bit of a curl. Well, might be early to say that. But if it can hold 260, then that'll be decent.
Jay looking at a bounce point of 510 on the SPY. Jay's Life, sorry, not Jay Rice. Reclaimed that, or it looks like it is bouncing off 512 here. We'll see if that holds here for today.
We got next?
We got Anne Marie next.
All right.
Options with Anne Marie coming up in 3 minutes. We're almost done here.
Looks like MNDR is back to VWAP. Thinking easy go could go. Well, let's see what happens here. Maybe back up to VWAP around 325-ish.
INDO back to its VWAP here. Bitcoin still at the lows here. Actually broke down through that 70K level on Bitcoin. I can't even believe this, but Root not doing anything today.
I think the squeeze might be coming to an end.
I think you might be right. Goldman Sachs lower into a consolidation area here off the backs of those bank earnings from JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Citigroup this morning.
Yeah, I do not know. I mean, it looked like for a second there, easy go. I wanted to start to get going, but whole bunch of orders came in and pushed it back down.
ALLR. We hit this early, and this thing, as soon as this thing lost VWAP, it was done.
INTC Intel, I still like at 35.50.
That's the spot on Intel, huh? Still another $1 away.
Yeah, we got close to 50 cents away this morning, but recovered. Now it's starting to turn over again. But yeah, I want to try Intel for the longer term, but I want to see some more weakness first. And I do like that 35.50 area because it's got multiple moving averages in it. You got the 500-day SMA, you have the 200-month SMA in there, you have the 20-month SMA in there. So that seems like a pretty good level. Plus the RSI is very low, so it indicates there's been a lot of overselling already. There's a lot of indicators that are telling me that maybe a little bit lower would be the sweet spot. Did Easy Go?
Wow, Tiger just drive into the tree, bounced into the fairway. Unreal.
And then he's all, I planned that. Rent is collapsing. Oh, somebody didn't pay. It's overdue.
Well done.
Prediction.
All right. 13. Enjoy your weekend, dude. We're gonna get you out of here. That's gonna make room for Anne Marie. 13. Take care. We will see you on Monday, my dude. Enjoy your weekend.
Take care.
Take care. 13 leaves a spot blank for Anne Marie. Anne Marie, how are you doing here today? It is great to see you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too. We actually just covered a gold position that we bought a strangle because I thought, hey, things might be heating up. Let's see what gold can do. And so we bought the long 225 calls and the long 210 puts because I had no idea which way it was going to go. And so we got in at, I think, 68 cents and covered at 180 something. And so we just put it on the 10th. And so that brings us to this topic of, well, what do we think gold is going to do? Could it rocket out just a fair bit more? And, the answer is yes, it could, but it really is getting long in the tooth. And so the question might be, is there another trade just like that with a little bit more time on it that might give us a pricing perspective that allows us to put a little strangle on that says, hey, maybe we head up to 230, but maybe we come back to 215 or 220. So I wanted to look at that a little bit.
Okay.
Do you have anything special that you want to look at?
Actually, you know what? No. We had a really, there was not a whole lot going on today in some of those bigger names. We were really kind of forced to trade some of the junkier micro caps and small caps. I'm really happy about your gold trade here because we got scolded by a viewer yesterday for not talking enough about gold and silver. And then, of course, today you come in here with a great gold trade. I agree with you. I think that move might be a little bit long in the tooth. I'm a little bit disappointed because one of my really good trader friends called the silver move almost perfectly, and I just opted not to take it. And so here I am.
Yeah,
So
silver can be a fair weather friend.
Yeah,
so indeed. I'm not blaming you for that one.
Well, let's ask the chat here. Chat, do you guys have any stocks that you're taking a look at? This would be some of the stocks of the bigger variety here, some of the more popular, maybe S&P names or something of that nature. Let us know if there's any stock that you're taking a look out here. We'll see if Anne-Marie can come up with something.
Yeah, and we like liquidity, and that's
no
pretty
question.
important. So now we're looking at if we take the same expiration and we say, all right, if it goes to, wow, these have really popped up. If it goes to 2, 235 or 215. Maybe 210 might be the better choice. That's
So what?
$10 above, $10. Okay, so my thought was I'm trying to get it cheap.
Okay.
And it looks like 93 cents is going to be the cheapest we can get. This is a strangle we just sold, and it is still rocketing higher. I mean, wow. That is just scorched higher. So what we are looking at is something that I want maybe $10 away because it'll be cheap and priced for real upside expansion. Now, we held on, we bought this on maybe the 9th or the 10th, something, the 9th, and it was really leaking premium. And so our 50% stop loss was engaged, and I was getting a little nervous. And luckily, it started moving again. But I do believe that this is the kind of price action that we're looking at, that it is in a state of moving. Now, the further out we go, the more expensive the strangle is going to get because of premium, and that is going to be a time decay event, which we would call theta. And we can see theta in this line right here. That's our theta play. And so this is a pretty nice space. Now, today is the 12th, so it only gives the chart 5 days to really move. And so you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't know. And that is perfectly acceptable. What you could do is take a long iron condor, which I don't particularly love. That is the 225 all the way to 235. Where we're going to the upside, no, that's going to be too expensive because it's already eating up half the profit right here. So that would be a little bit too pricey. So yeah, this is my thought. Now you can look at it and go, I think maybe I'll wait and see if I can get it for about 80 cents. But this looks like a pretty nice opportunity. My thought is the chart pulls all the way back into 215. And so the put side is actually going to be defended here as opposed to the call side. But it could be both. My thought is this: when you buy a strangle far out of the money, set your alert for the actual strike price and get out. And so what we did this morning, we did it just shy of the strike price. I think it was about 223 or something like that. But the reason I said, hey, let's take some profit is because it's right at the top of the linear regression channel. And it's at the top of the linear regression channel on the weekly, on the daily, and on the hourly. And so that tells me the chart is going to take a little bit of a pause. And do I think it could come down to 215 before it takes another rise? Absolutely. But we can wash, rinse, and repeat with this kind of strangle with about 2 weeks to expiration, as long as we manage the overall risk that we're handling. So another instrument that we could use is the GDX, which I think are the miners, correct?
Yeah, and someone else was actually mentioning this morning. GDX.
Yeah. So notice this. I had drawn this out, and it broke like mad. Look at that. Just insane uprise. Look at the overall weekly formation of these gold miners, though. Do you see how sideways that chart is?
Oh, yeah.
Just absolutely sideways as it gets. Now, miners have a lot more than just the gold that they're pulling out of the ground. They've got to manage all kinds of things. And so I think that's why these guys are sideways. And if you use the TTM squeeze and the delta momentum, it is right at the point where it normally starts going, a little bit of choking right there up at the top of the range. And so the gap event could be, hey, maybe it gets to 37 and then rotates over. But we have the same kind of trade here. And we do have a little bit of optionality working in our favor there because we do have a good bit of liquidity. So take a look at how to read the TTM though. Notice when it's on the rise and it crests, it's always after the next candle that it shows the rotation. So the first thing to do is go, ooh, it's rising very hard. Where's resistance? And see, that was old support. That became resistance. And so the fade was only for 3 weeks, and then it moved up into bigger motion. So let's see if we can look at a 3-week formation. This is a 1-week formation. And so let's see how expensive it is in May. And let's look at the prices. We could either have a 37 test or a 32 test. Okay, this is 35.50. If we go to 37, that's approximately $2 to the upside. Maybe we look at the 33 to $2 to the downside, so it becomes a balanced formation. If we look at 33 puts and the 39 calls, we have something that's about 3 weeks wide that says, hey, listen, I could either get to 39 or I get to 33. Now, here's the majesty associated with this one. If we are sitting in a space where this TTM has told us, yeah, I'm long in the tooth, but I'm still on the rise, what's going to happen is next week we'll have another big candle, and then it'll rotate over. So my alert would be 37. Let's make it a round number. And 33. And so what might be beautiful is that we get to close that 37. Did I do that right? I said 39. Let's do the 38. When it gets to that 37 area, this 38 is going to be $1 out of the money, which is right around this 94 cents. So it's going to be almost twice the price that it is now. No, yes. Just outside the money, it's 60 cents now. It would be twice the price that it is if it runs into that 37 number. And so we're going to be able to close the call side. So we want to put an alert at the 37. I don't know if it's going to get all the way to 38. We're going to give it a little bit of room in case it does. And then we'll have the put side for the couple of other weeks where it rotates right back down into that zone. And that's kind of what we want to do here. I totally expect reversion to the mean,
Okay.
especially because we are literally extremely overbought. Every time we hit these overbought levels with this TTM squeeze, which is the ribbon that we're looking at, it comes down to test that 8 EMA. And the 8 is all the way at 31. So by the time a couple of weeks pass for that 31 to catch up, it's going to move, maybe 32, 33, and that's what we're looking at. So I'm going to take a snapshot of this one because it gives us some more room to run. And I'm going to share this with the Benzinga Pro folks.
Okay.
Because we like it.
Awesome.
We like it.
So the anatomy of a trade, she's giving it out here for free as well. You love to see it, Anne-Marie.
Great.
And by the way, we do have a couple of suggestions from the chat here on some liquid names if you want to get to that next. Okay, great.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm going to let you select here. I'm going to give you a pool to select from. A couple that people were looking at here, Nvidia, Eli Lilly, SLV for silver. And then there were a couple of options here for some more miners like Newmont. I think you already pretty much covered some miners, so maybe we'll pick something else there. So I would say let's do it out of Nvidia, Eli Lilly, or SLV. Which one do you want to do?
Okay.
So it should all be pretty liquid.
Yes, the chains in Eli Lilly are not liquid. And listen, we had a magnificent trade in Eli Lilly about 6 months ago. I mean, it was the best trade of the year. It was absolutely freaking fantastic. The problem was we couldn't get out of it. And so the price action was a little bit rough for us. So let me show you what the chains look like in Lilly.
Okay.
If you are comfortable with doing it, you can. Lilly is very sideways to me into earnings. I think another butterfly would be ideal. I don't know what is going to happen with Lilly. I think it needs to fade, but people would rather be thin than feel healthy. And so this
you got that right.
you heard the stories about how people feel taking this product. They feel absolutely wretched. Doesn't matter. They'd rather be thin than get off the couch. And
vanity first, Anne-Marie, real quickly on Eli Lilly earnings April 30th.
Yes, right there. So you could do a butterfly, but again, let's look at what the chains look like themselves. You can see how thin they are, right? As you take a look at anything. See this kind of volume? It makes the spreads wide and it gives the market makers a tremendous amount of power over you because you could be in a winning trade and they just will not feel you. I wish someday in the future, they would allow traders to exchange with other traders instead of paying for order flow and having a market maker in the middle. That would be a truly beautiful landscape, but there are too many guys in the middle making all kinds of money. And so until that happens, we're going to see these sorts of things. And so I would say from a trading perspective, it looks nice. They are hard as the dickens to get out of if you're sitting on the wrong side of the trade.
Okay, well, in that case, then, I mean, maybe we should look at Nvidia because I'll say this. One of the things that I try to promote is avoiding low volume things, whatever whether it be contracts or stock. So I like that. I know Nvidia is going to have plenty of liquidity in it. Maybe we should take a look at this one.
Huge. So we are already stacked in a couple of Nvidia plays, and notice this bounce action that it had yesterday or the day before. Let's see. 3 days ago. It came right into this range. And so I drew a box. We stare down Nvidia all the time because the options are incredibly liquid and the chart moves like a house of fire. And so this is what we're looking at. Notice this volume profile. See the shading? A lot of traders have spent time at this 900 zone. And take a look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8 times out of the last 12 days, it has come into 900 and it cannot close above it. And so the question is, what gives, Sally? And so my thought is it's simply in a mean reversion trade. And so let's change the, oopsie, not the calendar. Let's change this exponential moving average from 8 to 30.
Okay.
All right. And that was just a wild guess, folks, truly. And so we can see what it did at the exponential 30. And some people actually use a 34. I don't know if that's, we'll see how that looks. Right. 34 is almost right on the money there on a daily formation, excuse me. And it's bouncing off the range. So the next thing that we have to think about is Nvidia going to give us something magnificent over earnings or not so magnificent? If it's not so magnificent, it could fill in the gap, and that's down at 679. If it is magnificent, it's going to try and break 1,000. And so let's look at that from a butterfly perspective. First thing I'm going to do is set the alerts.
This is actually perfect, Anne-Marie, because one of the chatters here saying on Nvidia, we're all patiently waiting for 1,000. So this sounds like a perfect trade setup for this.
Right. And so I'm going to say the gap fill here is what I want to do. So that's about 680, and that's below. So you might say to yourself, Anne-Marie, really, 680? Listen, we know what we know until we realize that we didn't know. It's sort of like, what is that quote from Mark Twain? It's not what you know that won't hurt you. It's what you think you know that just ain't so. And so
That's a really good one.
although we are thinking to ourselves, listen, I have a butterfly on here that is the 1,000, 1050, 1100. That's the butterfly that I have. And so I'm hoping that it moves to that ledge. I'm looking forward to it.
You're hoping
If
it moves to the 1050, right? That's
yes, that would
okay.
be the one that I would be
The
looking
body.
for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, the middle of, and that's the one we're going to set up. I'm also going to position on the other side just in case. All right. So here we have 1,000 as our edge for this upside pressure event. It's going to be more expensive because it's really fairly close. And then down here, we're going to use, my thought is the real risk to Nvidia is a downside pressure event. That's the real risk threshold. Mm-hmm. So everybody's thinking it's going to have upside pressure. Looks really grand, but nobody's thinking about this. And so this is the space I'm going to try and look at. Maybe this 750 edge also. Let's just see how expensive things get. So let's look at the butterfly. Here's the butterfly that I currently have, one of several butterflies that I currently have. 975, 995 to 1010. Okay, so I've got about $20 of range. And that's got me at about this space. I don't know that it's going to expand. For the put side, and I've used these in June because I want to give the chart. Here's what happens with butterflies. When you have a butterfly and you take it far away in time, if price action collapses, your butterfly will get hurt, but not dramatically. If you're very close to the expiration date and it moves far away from your center strike, it's terrible. It just, your butterfly absolutely collapses. So my goal is, if we're wrong, let's err on the side of caution for the chart. And so I'm going to move this up to the 1000 marker.
Okay.
For the butterfly.
And I was actually going to ask you why you had 1010 in there instead of 1015, but with you readjusting them, that is not significant.
So if we go to 1050 and then we go to 1100, that's $3. Okay. $3 of motion for $46.97 of upside. The middle strike is going to be 1050 if it crests over. Now, here's why I'm looking at 1050. 1050, think about what happens about everybody being short the 1000 line in the sand, right? A lot of bears have come out and said, you know what? This $1,000 marker, this is the place that it's going to sell off of as long as it sells off of it. This 10, 1050, 1100, really nice formation. You could choose that one. You can also choose, I think this one is perfectly fine. This is our holy cow. If something goes terribly wrong and it drops $100, this thing is going to be worth 4 times the amount. All right. It's going to pay for however much we're paying for the call. If it doesn't, it's just an insurance bet that works out for us. And so if we're looking for strike action that is a little bit where the 1000 is in the middle, then we can do 990 is what, $100 away. Good grief. I've got all strikes in here.
I know. I was just thinking, you were scrolling past 200 on my phone, man. It's a ways to 1000 there.
Okay. Yeah. So let's look at the 990s. If we did 990, right? That's for June. And we did 1000. Look at how much open interest is sitting here already.
Wow.
Right? That's a ton of open interest. And then we do 1010. Is that right? Look at that.
990 to 1000 to 1010 for a 13-cent debit.
Yeah. Okay. So let me multiply this out. If I am moving for 50 and this is moving for 10, 5 times that, holy cow, we don't need to be doing that one at all. That's the one. So
just too much premium on that one that you just cleared off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we wanted to make $50, right? And we said, hey, listen, here's why this is being priced so cheaply. I think they think it blows out of this number. Let's go to May. Let's see what May's expiry is. And here's the thing about working with me in times like these. I'm looking at it on the fly. And so my brain is thinking, all right, let me readjust that. Because when you are working with options, it's sort of you have a little basket and you're pulling things into it and you're looking for the right market basket pricing. And sometimes that's going to adjust. So here's the very interesting thing. If we did the 990, 1000, and it blows past the 1000, immediately the price action is going to erode the closer you are to expiration. So the day after earnings, if this blows all the way out to, 1030 or 1050 or whatever, this is very still likely to be, it's still going to hold value. It's still going to hold some value. So I would get out of it the second it moves to that 1,000 marker. If you're thinking to yourself, hey, 1,000 is where I think it's going. 1,010 is where I'd like my middle strike to be, and 1,020, these $10 strike differences are much cheaper. I mean, much cheaper than what we would expect. Let's see how much this one is for May. Same price. So if it's the same price, we leave it out in June. We never know what's going to happen. All right. So that is the trade, folks. Wow. I am so surprised. That's fantastic, actually. That's really, really fantastic. So,
Okay, so that middle butterfly is in May. The other two are in June.
yes.
Okay.
Right now, if we wanted this in May, we could also do it in May, right? That is something we can't take them at the same month. We can't take both of them at the same month because the middle strike is 1,000 in May, and the opening strike would be the plus. So you'd be building a condor, which captures prices on the same side. An iron condor is calls and puts. A condor is either all calls or all puts, but 4 legs on the same side. Maybe next time we'll talk about that. But I really like this. You know what? When we get together on Tuesday,
Let's check on it. Yeah,
this one,
I like
right?
that. Okay, really good stuff. Right up to the bell, Anne-Marie. You did a masterful job again. We will check on this on Monday. I know Nvidia is popular. Love that we're covering that here. Let's go ahead and do that.
Thanks so much.
All right. Anne-Marie, have a wonderful weekend. You are the absolute best. Take care, and we will see you on Tuesday.
Thanks so much. Hey, oh, wait. First thing I got to say, I'll be looking for you at the draft.
Okay, please
with
do.
Joel.
I will be there. I will be there.
Fun.
Oh, it should be fun. I'm really looking forward to that. So that can't come soon enough. Anne-Marie, thank you so much.
Take
Have a
care.
great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Anne-Marie departing leaves room for Zunaid. Zunaid,
What's
how's
up?
it going, dude?
It's going great, man. It's going well. Yeah, the draft should be a lot of fun. We've got some fun things planned, which, by the way, if any of you are interested in representing an NFL team, we have a few slots open for specific teams. Feel free to email myself, Zunaid at benzinga.com, and we'll get you slotted if we have a spot.
The Bears are taking those.
The Bears
Zunaid.
are taken. Yes,
Have
the
a
Bears are
great
taken. They've
weekend,
got
bud.
the 1st and the 9th pick. See you later, pal. Let me go ahead and bring on Sandra. You just give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go. Looks like you are. Awesome. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I know we had a successful trade last time we were on with AMD, so we will go ahead and cover that here in just a moment. But of course, you know, we got to go ahead and play our intro.
Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple. I'm here to show you short-term proven strategies. People think trading is a one-size-fit-all market. It's not. We live trade and train daily. Let's talk trading.
I know I didn't play it last time, so I had to make sure I came back and played it this time. I knew I had to. Awesome. Well, I mean, we'll talk about the trade here in a second. You can go ahead and share your screen if you'd like. I'll go ahead and share what I was kind of taking a look at. I did go ahead and trade AMD earlier today as well. So not just the puts that you and I got last Friday, but as you can see, up about $150.
Nice.
Let's see if we can get some trade logs here. History. Matter of fact, why don't I just make it simple? I'll go ahead and show the execution.
Because my Thinkorswim on this browser is taking forever to load up, and I was running. We have
so you opened it on a browser instead of like the actual platform?
Yeah, because on Discord I do live trading and training, and so it's on a different browser because I'm running a lot of stuff on there, and so in order to keep that still running with our custom indicators and then to come onto here, I kind of use a different browser with a different software. So
gotcha. All right.
It's all too much tech for me to really, understand, but I'm kind of muddling my way through. Oh, good. We're almost showing the desktop here.
No, you're totally good. So I'll go ahead and just kind of, I went ahead and shorted it when we were at the VWAP, and then we went ahead and came down. So, and I did also try to short it one more time. So shorted 3 times, lost money on one of them, and we're still up about $150. But I think, as we go through it, something else to kind of look at is basically the reason that I went short is because you have relative weakness at AMD, right? So it's down about 4%, down 6 points, where the market itself, let's just take a look at the Qs, is down 1%. So you've got relative weakness there. However, I will say this, Sandy, where AMD, right? Let's go kind of side by side. I want to get your insights on this.
Okay.
AMD, and then let's go ahead and have QQQ on the right. Let's go ahead and have both of them be the 15-minute. There we go. So what you can see is, I think the low for AMD was made at about 950. The low for Qs were made at about 1045. So as the Qs were going down, AMD was still kind of going up. How do you kind of play this? Is there anything that you're thinking because of this divergence, if you will, or is it like, hey, not really worth it, cool observation, but nothing that I really can care to take a trade on?
Well, actually, I love looking at the ETF with the stocks that you're interested in that basket. And so as we look at AMD, you can see that the Qs, though it broke, is that your pre-market low, or is that just your low of the day?
Which one on this? On what side?
On the Qs.
Yeah, this is going to be the low of the day right there.
Okay. So because we have a little bounce, if it gets up above that, is that your VWAP?
Yes, the yellow line, yes.
Yeah, then I would start to think that, hey, maybe this is going to take a turn for becoming more positive. And you can see that AMD already on the same chart. In fact, I actually like having the Qs and AMD on the same time frame. So if you put the Qs on a 5-minute, what does that look like?
All right, so let's do that. So AMD on the 5, and you've got the Qs on the 5. Nope, that's the one. There you go. So that's what it looks like if we have both of them on the 5-minute.
Okay, perfect. So if you get a closing candle on a 5-minute above on the Qs, then you could probably see AMD continuing. So AMD then has, it looks like a little quicker than QQQs, a double top coming from the high of the day there on AMD. If it bypasses that 165 level, then you're just going to see a higher high because it's creating a trend. You got a low, you have a lower high, but you have a higher low there. And so now we're looking to see if we make a double top and revert right back down, or if we break that high right there of the day, then it's going to go higher. So you might want to take your profits and run.
Yeah, so it'll be really interesting. We've got about 3.5 minutes here to see how that kind of plays out. Let's go ahead and take a look at another stock in that same area where you have Nvidia. Yes, it's down more in terms of points. However, percentage wise, it's half of what AMD is currently down. That's obviously just because it's a higher price stock. And you had like this trend line that we can go back. Now, this trend line to me is kind of invalidated. Now, it did work out, right? You kind of got rejected and you got the move itself. So we'll go ahead and delete that for now. Now look at that. The lines actually went ahead and worked. But basically, you had this downtrend on AMD. And I'd love to know how you'd play this in terms of options, so we could get to some of your trades that you have. You have this downtrend. We kind of broke it. No real retest back, but we're to the upside. And now you've got a little bit of resistance right here. Are you waiting to pull the trigger on something like this? Is there no play here, sitting on the sidelines? What are your thoughts?
Well, right here, I mean, as soon as you have the break of that trend line on a 4-hour, you're looking at a trend change. So because of that trend change, waiting for this to get, as an example, if you were to take the 50% move from the bottom of that 4-hour candle, the lowest point there, to where we are right now, the highest point. If you look at a 50% level, I bet you it's around that trend line that you have. And if it does a bounce right there, then, that might be a good entry point to get back to the level that it's at right now. If not,
so hopefully I drew that right.
Sure, go ahead.
Did I draw this right? The fibs that you wanted from here all the way down here?
Yeah, where's the 50%?
It is right here. There you go. So you're in that range. Look at
Okay.
that. And you've got the previous close there as well. So kind of right what you were talking about on that aspect. But go ahead. I just want to make sure I got the fibs right.
Yeah, no, that's great. And so when you look at those fibs and you see that it's made a 50% move like that, so now it's kind of like hitting resistance right there and popping back down. If it breaks above that 618, then you know it's a trend change, and you might want to think about exiting and getting in the opposite play for that.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it to see how that kind of plays out. But give me a little bit of insight. What have you been trading? Matter of fact, let me actually get a question from the chat, and then we can kind of move on to what I wanted to discuss with you. DJAF, DJ, I'm gonna call you DJ. Would love to know your insights in terms of the options traffic on 0DTE skewing the market. It could be skewing it one way or another. But what are your thoughts in general about 0DTE every single day now?
Well, I take 0DTEs every single day, and we actually have a log that you could take a look at to see the success rate there. But we're batting right now about 88, 89%. And what we utilize is not only a backtesting system, but we use gamma injects. So I'm not sure if your audience is familiar with that, but if you're not, I would start doing an investigation, some research, and looking into that. Because gamma levels are awesome. So gamma is really about the market makers hedging their positions from all the institutional flow that's coming in, as well as retail traders.
Yeah.
And that actually acts as support and resistance levels, and you can see them change. If you have the tools necessary, you can actually identify, as an example, what today's SPX gamma levels are, which is support and resistance. And then you can even check out like Mondays or next Fridays, and you can see the difference where they're hedging their position. And it's awesome because you can kind of see where all the money is flowing. Either it's more bullish or bearish, and then that can help you make your decision as well.
I'm really interested to see. Oh, look at that. So we tried to go up on the 15-minute on the Qs, but now we go ahead and come right back down. Can't stay over VWAP at the moment. Still got about 4 minutes left on this 15-minute close. But let's talk about some of the trades that you've taken. What do you kind of?
I want to show you our AMD, because I don't know if you remember, but last week we were talking about either taking a put, and what was the other type of trade? Well, it was a let me get to show you my screen here.
Yeah. And then while you're doing that, I can also go ahead and pull up the email that you and I had. That way, because I know you had a screenshot there.
Yeah, let me know when you can see this, and let me see what you got.
All right, you're ready for me to put it up?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All righty, there you go. What you got?
So this was actually we did a call credit spread. So we sold a call credit spread. We sold the 175 call, and we bought the 180 call. The only thing that I wish we would have done was get a smaller time frame for this move.
Yeah.
So, right, because as theta's burning, it's really about the time frame that you bought this in. So like our expiration for this is May 17th. Could we just keep this on as long as AMD stays within these confines, which is all the way to about 177 thereabouts? You can still make money on this. But as of right now, we are up $54.
Yeah.
And, without any stress, we were able to hold through all the highs and the lows, and with all the volatility in the market, and there was no stress to hold this at all. We took an at the money call credit spread, and so this is a way that you can actually have or create diamond hands, is basically by taking a debit spread or a credit spread and at the money, and hedging that position allows you to hang on to it longer without any stress to your P&L, as well as the stress levels that you feel if you're one of those people that kind of have paper hands.
Do you remember what the spot price was when we took this? I believe it was in the 169.75 one. I believe it was in this area right here. Here, let me actually go back. It was last Friday that we did it, right?
Okay.
So Friday was the 5th. So I think it was right here. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
It was because, on this graph that I'm showing that you can see the trade, this tells you where you took the trade at. So that was at 171.64 thereabouts.
Perfect.
Is when we took that trade. Well,
So I'll share my charts here in a second just to kind of showcase what I'm looking at. So this is, when the show was last Friday, right? So right around here, I believe. And so we took the trade here, and that was at around, like you said, like the 171, 172 area. And then now it's trading approximately 5% lower a week later. So the trade kind of worked out. We continue to kind of make lower highs. And now, of course, we just made a lower low. It's currently at VWAP. We'll see if it wants to break it and continue back hitting the lows. But how much are we up? Or I guess I say we, but you're the one paying taxes on it. How much are you up on that?
Right now, $52. And I have the opportunity to make $200 if we close in this zone here up to about this level right here. We're break even right about here.
Got it.
Let me get it over there. Yeah, but right about there. I kind of like outlined it.
Yeah.
We're at a break even there on May 17th. But as long as it stays basically in this zone the entire time, then on May 18th, I get $200.
Awesome. Love it. We will definitely keep an eye on that. Yeah, I would have loved to have a shorter dated one, but then the fear is always like, hey, if it doesn't go in our favor, then you kind of obviously take on more risk, but the reward definitely is increased quite a bit as well. What else you got? Any other trades that you've taken this week? And then after that, we can talk about what maybe we can put on for next week.
Took some zero DTEs, of course. To be quite honest with you, I'd have to look and see what the trades. I actually took a SPY call this morning when it looked like it was going to break above the 20 EMA on a 5-minute. That didn't end up working out. In fact, let me switch my screen over.
Sure. Yeah, it's so interesting that you use it on a browser.
Yeah, I use.
Yeah, you mentioned why, but I was just really intrigued.
Yeah, I kind of, because I'm kind of, I'm not sitting in an office and I kind of move around my house while I'm trading and teaching. It's just easy for me to use my laptop. So I use it's kind of like a cloud gaming computer, and it's called Shadow. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I haven't, but I get the concept. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do a lot of stuff on there because I'm able to run a lot of programs and it's got a lot of power. So here, let's just take a look really quick. So yeah, was looking at SPY and thinking that was front running this, thinking that it was going to bounce earlier this morning, but it didn't. It actually is just staying, kind of just in consolidation right here. Now, when we look at like SPY's gamma as well as SPX's gamma, we have a lot of selling going on today. So with that selling, that's like an elevator being pushed down if you see a negative JAX by volume. Mm-hmm. And so that's a real indication. This won't really start to get positive until you actually see money coming into the market. Right now, you just see outflows. So having those levels and seeing where the market makers, whether they're taking in or they're selling a lot, could really be just beneficial, especially if you're not really good at technical analysis or you don't have time to look at charts.
So you're in the trade, or you're about to get in the trade, or just levels you're watching?
I actually lost out on this trade. Got in, it failed. I just exited with our group. It seems like, as of right now, we finally got some positive ticks on the board, but really the entire morning has been negative ticks, which is basically the entire stock market, just showing you. We finally got some positive momentum, and you can see the momentum since we opened has been really low. So it just turned positive. We'll see if we get enough strength to actually start getting some inflows into the market. And then I'm just using like a 20 EMA, and you can see that we're at resistance right here doing a double top. So looking to see if we actually break that top for a continuation, or if this ends up holding and we just come right back down to and make a double bottom right here.
Yeah, if we make that double bottom we hold, that'd be interesting. What's up?
I said that's what I'm looking at. Really haven't taken a lot of trades today, only because, you know, the price action has kind of been just stagnant, you know, just choppy.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on this VWAP here on the NQ. Now, this is obviously on the future side, but I'm interested to see what happens once we get to VWAP and right around here where I've got a block trade. If you go to the 30-minute, you can see you had up red candle and then blasted off. And then you already obviously retested it a couple of times here. But now that we have VWAP there, I'm just curious as to what's going to end up happening on that one. I do have a couple of Apex funded accounts. I'm probably going to place a trade on that. But is there anything that you're looking at in terms of for next week, any levels that you're watching?
Well, you know, I noticed that our weekly expected move, we're actually coming up to the level. Let me get SPX up here and I'll show you. See if I have that on my chart. By the way, you know, Darvis bands, if you're not used to utilizing this indicator, really kind of shows you where consolidation is. And then typically speaking, when we break above those levels of consolidation, it could be very helpful if you're looking for a directional trade. So, and you can see it right down here as well. But I don't have, it doesn't look like I have my weekly expected move, but it was, our weekly was around 51.30 down here. So typically speaking, 68% of the time, we actually close within the weekly expected move. And if we close lower than that 51.30 today, we can see more downdraft next week as well.
And then is there a trade that you're thinking in terms of that? And was it a credit spread or anything like that at all?
You know, I do the 0 DTEs every day, and I don't really like to do, unless it's like far dated out. I don't like to do a credit spread, but there is a technique where if you go to your 8-day, let me show you this. This is called an 8-day credit spread. If you go over to your trade tab, let me get on SPX. We have a lot of volatility in the market, so I kind of don't like to keep too much on unless I have a 45-day out, like that AMD trade that we had. But I'm not looking at anything specific. I have a watch list that comes out on Sundays for a weekly. And when that comes out, then I just kind of automate all my trades Sunday night. Takes me about 30 minutes. And then I'm just set for the week, so I don't have to concentrate on it. I have my triggers that are entries. I have my triggers that are exits with profit targets, as well as my stop losses. Yeah. And so I kind of, automate probably about 80% of my trades. So, so if you take a 7 or 8 day out, oh, look at what this is saying. I tried to use the high-tech browser with what is this called? This software that you use to
StreamYard.
Yeah, StreamYard, and it didn't work. And I was like,
"Oh, that's fine. That's all right." Better. I got to get back in the SPX side of things, but go ahead.
Oh, you don't trade SPX?
I stick to futures just because like I'm in the funded account phase of my life, if you will. Okay. So that's just kind of where my head's at in terms of everything.
Okay. So I usually go to the 10 Delta here. And this is made for like weekly income. If I can get to it. Sorry, my computer's so slow.
No, you're totally fine.
I need to get this figured out.
Well, no worries. While you're doing that, I can just kind of share my screen in terms of what you've got the rejection coming down here again. Twice we've tried to stay above on the 15-minute of the 18,268. We're continuously getting rejected on it. Still want to keep an eye on that 18,317 to see if we reject VWAP or not. But for the moment, The market is trying to make higher highs so that we can continue a little bit to the upside, but you've got to get over, in my opinion, this level of 18,343 if we want to continue a little bit of momentum and hit the trend line that we have here on the 4 hours. And you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the fifth one, it did go ahead and hit to the downside. Then we can see if it wants to retest it or not. You're back up.
All right. Let's give this a try. So first of all, this is a great little system if you like to just basically earn an income weekly without, too much stress. So you look at the day chart, if I can get to it. I'm just really having some problems with my so you
You're
can
fine.
see
I'm
what
just slacking in the back. Yeah.
So you can see that we're under the 20 right now. And really this system, this income system is what it's called, is really about just identifying the trend and staying in it within a week. And what we do is if price is below the 20 EMA on a daily chart, then we go over to our trade tab here. We look for the 10 delta. This will be a call credit spread. A call credit spread means that you're looking for directional to either stay at its level or go down. And so what we do is we take you can take a credit spread here, look for the 10 delta, just go right over here.
Yep.
If I can get to it, I'm scrolling, but nothing's moving.
No worries.
I have got to get this fixed.
So is this something that you're going to put on for next week? Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what you would do. So if I can get to the 10 delta, if I can get there, I don't know why it's not moving. Oh, finally. Now I move too much. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it'll just adjust a little bit too much. Someone's saying if you go to your,
there we go.
Okay. I saw your comment, Jay. Okay.
He's trying to give me thinkorswim directions, right?
Yeah, but it looks like you have real-time data. I'm not exactly sure if it's helpful or not because I'm not using the platform, but it looks like you've got what you needed up, and we've got about 5 minutes. So tell me what you're looking at.
So we got the 10 delta here, and you can see the number of contracts here. So I would take this one just because it has more contracts. So you take the 10 delta and you go 10 wide further down.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at the 10, and so you take the 54.25 and you take 10 down. I should say up 25.35. So let me just go ahead and put that on there. I am so sorry, guys.
No, you're totally fine.
Oh my gosh. 54, let's see, 25, and we're going to do 54.25, 54.35. I pressed it.
See, as long as the trades are profitable, I think we're okay waiting. Which so far they have been, right? So we're kind of 1 for 1. So I ain't mad at it. By the way, looking at the Qs here, I'll share mine while your charts are loading up on that side. Qs, again, like we talked about, rejecting that VWAP. We'll see if it makes a third attempt to try to get up in the past 30 minutes, or if we just go ahead and make a move to the downside, maybe test the lows, like you mentioned, to see if we get a double bottom, and then maybe we rally late on Friday. We'll see how that movement goes on that side of things.
I am so sorry that I can't.
No, you're totally cool. What I'll do is I'll have my thinkorswim up next time as well, so we can easily kind of share some things as well. That would be
that would be awesome.
Matter of fact, I might even use my e-tricks. That's what I prefer to use sometimes. But let me ask you this: we got about 2-3 minutes here. Your thoughts on earnings season, right? You've got Netflix on the 18th, and then you've got banks that already reported. You had JP Morgan this morning. Stocks head to the downside, but you've got Netflix on the 18th. You've got Google, I believe, on the 23rd or 24th. Long story short, are you playing any earnings, and are you doing it through spreads, or do you just wait for the action and then see what's going on?
Yeah, you know what I'd like to do is do butterflies for earnings. So either that or even like debit spreads. And what I like to do is see what the expected move is and then utilize that with gamma for the levels. And then I just take like a butterfly and stick it on resistance level, put a butterfly on the support level, and then you're prepared for either or. And because, you know, you're buying these strategies and you know your targets are away from where price is right now, it ends up being a very cheap play, but the risk versus reward is huge. You can make like 10 times what you actually, you know, purchased it for. So because of that, on a butterfly, they're awesome. Love butterflies as well as just out of the money credit spread, debit spreads as an example. So just put one on the resistance level, one on support level, and then play that as well. So that ends up, you know, kind of being excellent risk versus reward if you don't like to put a ton of money knowing that it's kind of a lotto for, it's kind of up in the air for earnings sometimes.
Amen to that. We'll see how the action ends up going on. But appreciate your time. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Sandra.
All right. See you guys next time.
Absolutely. And we've got a awesome guest coming up here in just a couple of minutes. AT, Mr. Producer, it is all yours. I'm going to focus on the interview now. Kartoon Studios, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but I would kind of wake up every Sunday. Oh, forget every Sunday, every day. I would like to not go to school so I can go ahead and watch some cartoon. And we've got an awesome interview coming up here. It's going to be with Todd and Andy from Kartoon Studios. You have the ticker on the NYSE American, ticker TOON. All access starts right now. Todd, Andy, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I never know what color glasses you're going to wear. I remember I watched the interview last time that you did with Luke, and you had the yellow glasses, I believe, and now you're rocking the whites. I need you and I to communicate so I can have the same ones as you.
Well, I'll be in therapy for many years trying to figure this out. Thank you.
Well, hey, I'm so happy to have y'all on. We've got so much to talk about, but just give us a quick overview for the folks that, for some reason, aren't familiar with your company.
Well, we make animated children's cartoons. We broadcast them, and we do consumer product licensing of those characters on a global basis. In its simplest form, that's what we do.
Yeah. And I know you have a Stan Lee storefront that was just, on Amazon. You've seen great success with that. You also have a dedicated channel on YouTube. How is that kind of integrated with the broader strategy to grow that brand? And of course, more importantly, to drive that revenue? Andy, we can start with you, and then Todd, you can chime in.
Yeah. Well, let me sort of start by saying that we are in a period now of very rapid and accelerating growth in our company. That's complemented by our new CFO and very strong financial disciplines that have been put into place. Our business is not affected by the price of gold, by interest rates, by inflation, by anything that's going on in the world, because essentially we make cartoons and children continue to watch cartoons no matter what. And children continue to want to buy the toys and all of the different products that come from the cartoons. So as far as the various initiatives that we have really exploding for us right now, the channel system, which is run by this very talented man next to me, and he actually always tells me, it's not channels, don't call it channels anymore, has become a real incredible growth driver. And perhaps, Todd, you can talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Sure. So there's so many different and exciting things going on in the business right now. And, I'm fortunate enough to be managing one of our fastest growing businesses, which is Cartoon Channel. And I oversee the overall media and streaming network. So that's Cartoon Channel, Amoeba, and Frederator. And so each of those brands has some really exciting and significant growth happening currently. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a peek on what's happening on Cartoon Channel and Amoeba specifically, which is our streaming business, our direct-to-consumer streaming business. We had a phenomenal Q4 23, and we had a goal to reach break even and profitability, and we've been able to hit both of those goals from Q4 of last year to this year, Q1, January and February. So that's been really exciting. And I can give you a couple reasons why we've been able to do that. But it's been, it's been a really fun ride the last couple of quarters, particularly around the direct-to-consumer business.
And then if we take a look at the 20-year licensing agreement that you have with Marvel Studios, how does that play into the strategy, and especially expanding the Stan Lee universe itself?
Yeah, well, I think let's start off with who is Stan Lee for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Stan Lee is the most successful creator of all time. When I say that, I mean bigger than J.K. Rowling, bigger than anything of Steven Spielberg or George Lucas. 14 of the top 50 box office movies were created out of the mind of this one man. They include Spider-Man, Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Captain America, Black Panther, Fantastic Four, Thor. The list goes on, and of course the Avengers, the most successful film of all time. We were very fortunate to become the stewards of Stan's IP. And when we started on this 3 years ago, we had no idea it was going to become what it has become. We launched the store on Amazon. We have a number of consumer product initiatives coming. We are launching with our comic book colleagues at Legible, a publishing line with Stan. He has a tremendous amount of appeal to many, many different people and sectors. Right now, we have about 100 new properties in what we call the book. The book was what Stan left behind for us. Most of the things from Marvel were created in the 60s and 70s. Everything after Stan left Marvel is in this book, and we are rolling them out. And when we first took over the brand, I said it's going to be Marvel 2.0.
Yeah.
Anecdotally, it's actually, we call it Stan Lee Universe, and it's just starting to buzz right now. It was if we went into a drawer and we took out, we opened up and we saw 40 songs from Lennon and McCartney. Nobody had ever known existed before.
Yeah.
And so they're there. So we're rolling those out. Disney, of course, knows the value of Stan, and we license to them the rights to have him in the theme parks for 20 years, for which they pay us royalties.
Yeah.
We have a similar license with Marvel to use him as cameos in their movies. Both of these are non-exclusive licenses, I should add. So those became the basis of kind of growing this, and it's all being done under the creative stewardship of one of Stan's great collaborators, Michael Uslan, who has been the executive producer of all of the Batman movies and the Batman franchise for the last 25 years. He knows this brand inside and out. So we're very excited. There's a lot of wind in our sails with it.
There's two main things that I took away from that one is that it's a non-exclusive, right? So you can go ahead and find other avenues of growth and revenue if you'd like. And also there's a reason Mr. Wonderful loves the royalties. It helps with the cash flow. So that's some great insight on that. Speaking of money, what's the game plan to have these successful shows like, right, your Rainbow Range? I know I just watched with my niece Shaq's Garage there as well. How are we going to go ahead and boost the subscriber growth, and what type of shows are going to help make sure that the free trials turn into paid subscriptions?
I'll grab that one. So, obviously we've got great news on the Stan front, and then on the younger kids side, we are really leaning into a bunch of different things. So we've got a successful content strategy that was activated. We went after a lot of new acquisitions last year, and it really paid off in the fourth quarter, where we leaned into both seasonality and holiday content. So we drove a lot of subscription growth in Q4 from Halloween to New Year's, when seasonally we know that there's a lot of consumption happening typically, and align those with holiday promotions. We've really, really tightened our media efficiency and our subscriber acquisition campaigns and costs. So from the beginning of 23 to the second half of 23, we cut our acquisition costs in half, and we were still able to drive more growth than we were in the first half of the year. So we really hit kind of two home runs there. We brought costs in line, and we doubled acquisitions. We're now also really leaning into tech and making some significant data-informed decisioning in real time or near real time. So one of the initiatives we did was really put a dashboard and data and insights together to allow us to make decisions around consumption, programming, media costs, acquisitions, churn, free trial conversions, and start looking at those, you know, on a daily basis, where we were never able to do that before. So all those things combined have really helped us grow the business. And, you know, I think that's a big part of it, is to be able to see and strategize around what we can do around programming and what we can do around acquisition. So both those things came in line. We had some big growth towards the end of the year.
And I do want to point out that free trials and conversions to paid subscriptions did soar by nearly 50% in February compared to the same month last year. Final question for me, Andy, I'll start with you. International growth, right? You want to go ahead and get into those markets as well, because you have billions of people that you can attract. What's the game plan there? Especially because you have some cultural differences from, you know, say China, India, and here in the US and many, many other countries that you want to tap into.
Well, we have a very, very talented executive who's running our international business. His name is Paul Robinson. He's based in London. He was previously managing director of Disney Channel Worldwide, and he's been growing our footprint of the Cartoon Channel distribution system dramatically. We're pretty much in every territory in the world now. If we're not actually up on air, we are contracted to be on air in the coming months. We have some very substantial deals that are going to be announced in the coming days with global broadcasters. And Paul is leading this charge there. Obviously, we have to dub our shows into various different languages around the world. And all of our shows are dubbed in everything that you could imagine, you know, the obvious languages from, you know, French and Spanish and Italian and German and, you know, Urdu and the Hindi and whatnot. We're pretty covered around the world right now. It's an exciting time for growth. It's a period where I should also add that I neglected to mention our mainframe, the production system is growing quite dramatically as well. We have the #1 kids show in the world we produce, Coco Melon. We have the #1 toy-based show in the world we produce, which is Barbie. We have the #1 kids show on Netflix, Unicorn Academy. These are all coming out of our group. So, you know, it's an exciting time, and there's a lot of momentum with us going forward. And as Todd said, but I don't want this to be understated because it's a huge driver, the channel system the streaming system went into profit this year. So we already announced January and February. Our unaudited numbers in March, which we haven't announced anything yet, have even grown more. So, you know, there aren't a lot of streamers that are in profit. The only one I know, frankly, is Netflix and us now. So it's a very exciting time. We're building up a tremendous asset, and we see, you know, just a lot of wind in our sails going forward.
And I can quickly tell you, we were up 19% year over year towards the end of the year, and already in March, we're up 24%. So we continue to extend that growth and that momentum.
Well, hey, I appreciate you guys for hopping on. We covered so many different topics, but I do at least want to give you the floor real quick. Andy, Todd, any final thoughts from either of you before we wrap up?
Well, you know, we're in a business that we take very seriously because we produce content for children. We have a very impressionable constituency. And I would say the single most important thing about our brand is safety. When parents are watching our shows and they're watching our channels, they know that their kids are safe and they're not going to see anything that is going to be inappropriate or wrong. And I think that's where everything will stem from.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I mean, I don't have any kids, but when I was taking care of my niece the other day, I'm like, how do I make sure this precious individual is protected? Not just, you know, physically, but also what she may be consuming on TV as well. But thank you both so much for hanging out. And yeah, look, I speak Urdu, I speak English. So if you need someone to do a little voiceover, you just call me and I'm one flight away from you.
We'll be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That is Andy and Todd, President and CEO of Kartoon Studios. Ticker on the NYSE American is TOON. And thank you all for watching All Access.